This is a magical animal world where the little animals have human forms. This big lion is staring straight at a little white rabbit. The little rabbit is shivering with fear. Suddenly, the big lion grabs the little rabbit by the ears. Do you think he intends to make the little rabbit his dinner? That's completely wrong. He's actually pondering how to win over this adorable little rabbit. On the first day of school, the little rabbit, Lai, is tragically blocked by 3 carnivorous animals. A big gray wolf, with a cigarette in his mouth, presses down on the little rabbit, smiling with ill intent. Little brother, where are you heading? While stepping on the little rabbit's ears, the little rabbit bravely tries to puff himself up and shouts, I am a very fierce rabbit, don't mess with me. Saying this, he starts swinging his little fists. The cute and silly appearance causes the 3 carnivorous animals to burst into laughter. Little rabbit, let me show you what a real fist looks like, he said, then a powerful punch was swung towards the little rabbit. Suddenly, the air went silent. Then, the sounds of the 3 carnivorous animals were heard. Trembling, he called out boss, and the little rabbit opened his eyes, only to be startled by the sight. He found himself being held by the ears by a big lion. Lifted into midair, and the big lion was staring at him, evidently plotting something. Suddenly, the lion noticed the carrot earrings on the rabbit's ears, paused for a moment, then loosened his grip, causing the little rabbit to fall straight to the ground with a thud. He tenderly touched his ear in pain, moaning, my ear hurts so much, are you okay? But in the eyes of the little rabbit, the lion's concerned look appeared as a terrifying face with bared teeth, ready to devour him. The rabbit screamed and ran away at the speed of a 100-meter sprint. Carnivorous animals are so scary, the rabbit thought as he ran away. Watching the rabbit's fleeing figure, the big lion, Mu Wei, reminisced about his childhood. It really is him. Wow, no wonder he's the boss, his expression is so powerful. As Mu Wei's adoring fan, Rabbit Sun praised him endlessly. Mu Wei couldn't believe it. Was that really an expression of prowess just now? Sun continued to flatter, truly an expression befitting a monarch, a look of superiority overall. The big lion helplessly holds his forehead, it seems he just scared the little rabbit. You're late for class, run 50 laps as a penalty. The big lion begins to settle accounts with these 3 carnivorous animals that bully the weak. Wow, how handsome. The hunk who enchants all the female students is none other than the class monitor, Lu Wei the Antelope. Lu Wei and the little rabbit Bailey greet each other and head towards the classroom together. Lu Wei tells the little rabbit, if you have any trouble adapting to the new school this season, feel free to come to me. The little rabbit suddenly remembers the incident from yesterday morning when he was bullied by 3 carnivores and a big lion. He says with grievance, there was a lion with a scar on his brow, very scary. Lu Wei pats his shoulder and comforts him, you're talking about Mu Wei, aren't you? If it's him, you have nothing to worry about. Just then, the little rabbit bumps into someone ahead. Rubbing his forehead, he looks ahead to see that the school has posted a new notice, and all the students are gathering around. The little rabbit, with his small stature, can't see the content of the notice board even on tiptoes. Unexpectedly, Lu Wei lifts him up high, and the little rabbit, startled, asks Lu Wei to put him down. Lu Wei, with a smile in his eyes, says, no worries, just take a look at what's posted. The little rabbit looks and sees that it's a disciplinary notice for the 3 herbivores that bullied him yesterday. Lu Wei puts him down and says, it must be the lion's doing. He patrols that road often to prevent such bullying, a pretty great guy indeed. It turns out that yesterday he wasn't bullying me with those 3 carnivores, he was actually saving me. I misunderstood him. The little rabbit began to sink into deep remorse when suddenly she heard enthusiastic shouting ahead. It was the big lion and other carnivores playing basketball. The little rabbit hid behind a tree. Watching from a distance, the big lion lifted his shirt to wipe sweat, revealing his attractive abs. This charmed the female students nearby, which made the little rabbit speak crudely, but her eyes couldn't help glancing at the big lion's abs. The boss, that rabbit is here, declared the big lion's avid fan, Sun Rong, upon spotting the little rabbit, and loudly informed his boss. The big lion, Mu Wei, looked over upon hearing this, and indeed, it was the little rabbit he had been longing for. He stared at her continuously. The ball in his hands dropped to the ground with a thud as Mu Wei approached the little rabbit, Bai Li. The little rabbit originally came to thank him for saving him yesterday, but the rabbit was really too timid. Seeing Mu Wei getting closer and closer, he trembled all over and broke out in a cold sweat. Mu Wei stared at the little rabbit's small hands, thinking they were so small and cute. Then he noticed the carnivore-specific drink he was holding. It seemed he really came to see him. Mu Wei felt even more delighted. He approached the little rabbit and grabbed his hand, examining the little rabbit up close. The little rabbit was in a panic and also heard the lion's intense heartbeat. Oh my God, does he see me as his prey? Just as Mu Wei began to speak, the little rabbit ran away in a hurry. I just wanted to get to know you, Mu Wei shouted at the little rabbit's retreating figure. Our poor lion stood there pitifully. He felt very guilty for scaring the little rabbit again. A little rabbit had actually saved a little lion. The lion in front of him looked completely dejected. He had scared away the little rabbit he had been thinking about twice in a row. He took out a handkerchief from his pocket, with a cute little rabbit embroidered on it. He stared at it blankly, his thoughts drifting back 10 years. At that time, the lion was still an ignorant and playful young lion. He had wandered into a leopard's territory, and the fierce leopards beat him up badly, demanding he hand over valuable items. It was then that the little rabbit appeared. Holding a wooden stick, the little rabbit shouted at the 3 leopards to let him go. Facing 3 strong carnivores? The little rabbit was clearly very scared, but it didn't retreat even half a step. Instead, it rushed forward and took a fierce bite at the head leopard. Then the little rabbit was punched and sent flying by the leopard. Even so, the little rabbit still didn't back down, protecting the little lion behind it. It nervously closed its eyes and shouted, I already called the police. You rob kids and beat people up. The police won't let you get away with this. Seeing the 3 leopards leave cursing, the little rabbit finally couldn't hold on any longer and collapsed to the ground. The little lion asked worriedly, Are you okay? The little rabbit wiped away a tear and pretended to be strong, saying, Oh, of course I'm fine. Are you hurt? Saying this, the little rabbit took a handkerchief out of its pocket and started bandaging the little lion's wound, advising, Territorial instincts of carnivores are very strong. You're still young, so it's better not to wander around. The little lion, with its big watery eyes, asked, Aren't you a kid too? The little rabbit was taken aback and said, I'm just trying to build my courage. I only wander around occasionally, but I can run fast. Suddenly, the little lion saw that the little rabbit's face was injured. Just as it was about to reach out, even though it was still small, it was still a carnivore, so the little rabbit quickly dodged away. The little lion was about to explain, but the little bunny turned and ran away. The little lion stared in disbelief at the little bunny's distant figure. I was actually saved by a little bunny. Next, please enjoy the cunning antelope Lu Wei's tricks to win over his future wife. Watch as this punch can take down a ferocious carnivore. None other than the antelope Lu Wei. The big lion Mu Wei persuaded from the side, You should avoid these hooligans in the future. Lu Wei lit a cigarette with a fluid motion and said nonchalantly, It's these scum who see me, a herbivore, and come to provoke me. If I don't hit them, who will? The big lion was truly embarrassed. You really are the same from childhood to adulthood. You were like this as a human too. The 2 walked back, and along the way, the big lion always seemed like he wanted to say something but stopped. Finally, he couldn't hold it in any longer and spoke awkwardly. Hey, I heard there's a new student in your class. Lu Wei, with the cigarette dangling lazily, responded, Yeah, I think so. What's up? The big lion awkwardly continued, I just wanted to ask, do you know what rabbits like? Do they just eat grass like you antelopes? Lu Wei teased, Why, are you becoming a vegetarian? The big lion, annoyed that he didn't get any information about the little rabbit and was mocked by Lu Wei, unhappily pushed Lu Wei aside. Both of them were startled as a big head blocked their way. Sun Rong the lemur hung upside down from a rope, swaying and grinning at them. He then leaped to the ground with excitement and asked eagerly, Boss Mu Wei, I saw you rushing over here. Did a fight break out? What happened? Mu Wei glanced at Lu Wei beside him and snorted coldly, It's all because of this guy. Sun Rong widened his eyes in surprise, looking at Lu Wei the antelope, It's you again? A sly look flashed in Lu Wei's eyes, but he quickly turned pitiful. He coughed weakly, his body trembling, and put on a pitiable expression. He said in a low voice, Thanks to Mu Wei, if it weren't for him, I would have been bullied by those bad guys again. Then he put his hand on Mu Wei's shoulder, full of gratitude, Thank you, Mu Wei. You always have to trouble yourself for me. He covered his forehead, looking like he was about to collapse, and said with great pain, I feel so bad. As she spoke, she fell forward. Be careful. Sun Rong caught Lu Wei, who was breathlessly lying on Sun Rong's back. Sun Rong sighed helplessly, It's always like this, always getting bullied. Boss has saved you so many times already. Look at all these injuries. Next time just come to me, I can cover for you. Lu Wei secretly flashed a triumphant smile, continuing in a weak voice, Thank you, you are really reliable. Sun Rong chuckled, Of course, I am a carnivore after all. Protecting herbivores is only natural. Mu Wei watched as Sun Rong carried Lu Wei forward with difficulty, exclaiming, Lu Wei is a devil. Is teasing Sun Rong really that fun? It's been a year and you're still not tired of it. Big Lion Mu Wei sighed, wishing he had Lu Wei's cunning. Just as Big Lion was contemplating, the little bunny started sneezing one after another. The little rabbit rubbed his nose, thinking, who keeps cursing me today? My partner is being bullied, I'll help you teach them a lesson. Gathering courage, the little rabbit went to dine in a mixed restaurant. The restaurant was full of carnivores, making the rabbit feel timid. But he made up his mind to toughen up, so he could thank Big Lion Moo Wei. The little bunny joyfully munched on a hamburger, completely unaware that Big Lion Moo Wei was right behind him. Upon seeing the little rabbit, Big Lion was so stunned that he dropped the chicken leg he was holding, spilling his coffee all over his clothes. He wondered, with the little rabbit being so timid, how it came to mix in a mixed restaurant. Then he remembered how, 10 years ago, the little rabbit had saved him by standing in front of 3 fierce leopards, protecting him behind itself. Despite being very timid, it did what seemed impossible. That's the little rabbit's style. The big lion grew fonder of the little rabbit the more he looked at it. At this moment, the little rabbit's attention was fully captured by 2 loudly bickering carnivores. A big gray wolf was twirling a dagger, and with a whoosh, the dagger plunged straight into the hamburger in the little rabbit's hand. The little rabbit was so scared that it didn't dare to move, trembling uncontrollably. The 2 carnivores laughed arrogantly and domineeringly, while also not forgetting to taunt the little rabbit, scared the little bunny baby to tears. The big gray wolf then pulled out another dagger, smiling maliciously at the little rabbit. My hand slipped just now. Let me try again. A shadow loomed over the big gray wolf, who turned around and instantly changed color. Seeing our carnivore boss, the big lion, Moo Wei, glaring fiercely at the big gray wolf. The big lion grabbed the gray wolf with one hand, his voice stern, do you know what a restaurant is for? If you're not eating, get out. After speaking, he directly threw the 2 annoying carnivores out of the restaurant. The little rabbit stared pitifully at the limited edition hamburger it had finally managed to get, wondering whether to pull out the knife and make do. Feeling someone staring at him, he suddenly looked up and, to his surprise, it was the big lion. The little bunny was instantly shivering with fear, stammering, unable to speak clearly. The next second, the big lion reached out to the little bunny. The little bunny nervously closed its eyes, instinctively trying to dodge, but the big lion just gently grabbed its hand, wanting to check if the dagger had hurt its hand. When the little bunny opened its eyes, it found that the big lion wasn't as scary as it had imagined. Indeed, there was a wound on the little bunny's hand, and the big lion said with heartache, you are hurt. The little bunny was shocked and hurriedly tried to stop him. Don't do this. Still worried, the big lion said, it would be bad if it got infected. Let me take you to the infirmary to get it bandaged. Before the little bunny could react, the next second, it was already held in the big lion's arms. The little bunny's face instantly blushed, not daring to look at the big lion. It was the first time the big lion had held the little bunny. Looking at the shy and cute little bunny in his arms, he couldn't help but blush too. The big lion really went out of his way to make the little bunny happy. The little bunny was bullied by 2 carnivorous animals in the mixed restaurant, and the big lion directly threw them out of the restaurant. Seeing that the little bunny was injured, he held the little bunny and came to the infirmary. In the infirmary, the big lion was seriously bandaging the little bunny's wound and even tied an incredibly cute bow. The little bunny was very grateful, but he felt that such a small wound being bandaged like this was a bit too exaggerated. After finishing bandaging the wound, Moo Wei finally breathed a sigh of relief and said that now he didn't have to worry about an infection. The little bunny was very touched and for the first time called out, Moo Wei classmate. He reached out to wipe the sweat off the big lion Moo Wei's face. The big lion Moo Wei couldn't handle such stimulation and jumped up in surprise, his fur standing on end, as he leaned against the wall and stared dumbfounded at the little bunny. The little bunny was also puzzled. What's wrong with you? Moo Wei finally came to his senses, blushing and scratching his head in embarrassment. And nothing, I'll go check if the doctor is back. With that, he left in a hurry. He didn't even notice that the small notebook in his pocket had fallen to the ground. The little bunny curiously picked it up and opened it. The notebook surprisingly had Little Bunny Hunting Plan written on it and detailed information about the little bunny. The little bunny thought the big lion saw him as prey and was scared out of his wits. Meanwhile, the big lion grabbed the doctor's hand and rushed back to the infirmary. Doctor, quickly check his wound, the big lion said, only to be surprised to find Little Bunny actually hid herself in the bedding, shivering non-stop. The doctor said it might be an infection from the wound and asked Little Bunny to stay overnight in the infirmary. And Big Lion had no idea that Little Rabbit was scared because she saw his notebook. Big Lion took up carving as a hobby. He carved many little bunnies out of carrots. Oh, a bunny's ear broke off. Moo Wei stared at the strangely shaped carrot bunny. Still, there was a look of satisfaction in his eyes. He mumbled that it didn't matter, it still looked like him. He admired the freshly carved, crooked carrot bunny. Self-praising that there was still much improvement to be made, he encouraged himself to keep going. Big Lion carved Little Bunny out of love, continuing to carve carrots. Let's take a look at what an exemplary boyfriend looks like. First, who dares to bully little bunny? Just see if our big lion will beat you up, that's it. Secondly, little rabbit has a small cut on her hand. Anxious, she rushed to the infirmary holding little bunny. Third, trying always to cheer little bunny up, preparing a loving breakfast for little rabbit with all his heart. But big lion, why does your smile look so creepy? No wonder you've scared little bunny into running away every time. So, to woo a mate, one must start with practicing their smile. Thus, our big lion practiced his friendly smile in front of the mirror over and over again. Meanwhile, little bunny accidentally saw big lion's hunting plan for little bunny written in a notebook, which scared her into staying in the infirmary all night long. Hearing a knock on the door, she opened it to find our big lion holding a carefully carved bouquet of carrot flowers in front of her. Little bunny was totally flabbergasted. Looking at the strangely shaped carrots, she thought, is he planning to fatten me up before eating me? Terrified, she said, classmate Mue, actually I'm not very hungry. So, gurgle gurgle gurgle. Before little bunny could even finish her sentence, her stomach started growling non-stop. Little bunny was immediately embarrassed, and big lion was also stunned for a moment. Then he moved closer to little bunny and said considerately, your hand is inconvenient, right? Let me feed you. Little bunny repeatedly refused, saying, no, it's convenient, I can. And with that, she quickly picked up a carrot. With tearful eyes, he began to nibble bit by bit. He silently screamed in his heart, why does everyone think rabbits must love carrots? This is prejudice. Actually, carrots taste awful. The lion looked at the silently crying little rabbit and thought, is the little rabbit moved by me? The way he chews the carrot is too cute. Feeling the lion's gaze, the little rabbit couldn't help but glance back at the lion. The lion quickly flashed the kind smile he had practiced countless times this morning, but the little rabbit was still frightened by the lion's smile, his face changing color. He quickly turned his back and gobbled down the carrot in his hand at the speed of light, hoping to finish early and leave soon. What's this? Sunrone's little brother actually dared to challenge Mue, the boss? The story begins when the school announced the mixed dormitory plan for carnivores and herbivores. The timid little rabbit, Boylove, wanted to train his courage and thought this activity was perfect for him. Holding the registration form, the little rabbit started to worry again. Where could he find a carnivore to share a dormitory with him? Just when he was pondering, a soccer ball flew straight towards the little rabbit. Seeing he couldn't dodge it in time, the rabbit could only tightly close his eyes. At the critical moment, a foot suddenly appeared in the air, kicking the soccer ball away instantly. Following that was an angry shout, hey, how are you kicking? You almost hit someone. Xiaomianzi opened his eyes and hesitated as he looked at his lifesaver, stepping forward to ask if that wasn't Mue's classmate by his side. Seeing it was Xiaomianzi he had helped, Sun Rong excitedly interrupted, oh, it's you. The new little brother big brother recently took in. The little rabbit was quite puzzled by little brother. Sun Rong nodded, yeah, yesterday I helped big brother carry a sack of carrots. They were for you, right? The big brother Sun Rong spoke of was naturally the big lion Mue, his loyal little fan. Sun Rong saw the mixed dormitory registration form in Xiaomianzi's hand, looking puzzled. Oh, you want to sign up for this with big brother? The little rabbit shook his head vigorously, then said with lackluster interest, although I really want to get along with classmate Mue, I'm too timid. I wanted to use this activity to become braver, but didn't have the right partner. Sun Rong, ever so familiar, put his hand on Xiaomianzi's shoulder and volunteered, then why not choose me? Without waiting for the little rabbit's response, Sun Rong had already snatched the registration form from Xiaomianzi's hand and swiftly signed his name on it. He also righteously told Xiaomianzi, as a carnivore, big brother's little brother is my little brother too. I've got your back. Meanwhile, Big Lion was fuming. What's this about Zeely and Sun Rong signing up for the same dorm? The dormitory manager confirmed, yes, the two of them signed up voluntarily. This is also the core principle of this activity. You want Zeely to live with you. So you decided for me. On the side, the Antelope Luwei was speechless, looking at the registration form handed to him by the Big Lion, who said, actually, I really didn't want to, but with limited dorm spots, I had to choose you as a last resort. Ling Yang Lu almost crushed the registration form in his hand. The Big Lion couldn't care less about Lu Wei's attitude. Just thinking about Sun Rong made him even angrier. That brat Sun Rong dares to poach from me. Help me think of a way to get Zeely back. Oh my, the two old lovers hiding behind the tree were shocked. When did their own spouse become so close to the other's spouse? Not only are they sharing the same dorm, but they are also inseparable all the time. Little Bunny Bailey was cheering excitedly for Sun Rong, who was playing basketball. Sunrong turned and waved enthusiastically back at him, giving a big thumbs up and an approving nod. Hiding behind the tree, Lingyang Lu turned entirely dark. He stared at Sunrong with a glooming and resentful expression, feeling even more annoyed, as if his toy was being taken away. Meanwhile, the two were completely unaware, continuing to interact enthusiastically. The little bunny even bought a drink for Sunrong, which made the big lion Mu Wei extremely envious. Mu Wei watched Sunrong take the drink, and then watched the little bunny smile at Sunrong, feeling utterly dejected. It seemed like the little bunny had never smiled at him like that. "I'll help you get Zilly back." The big lion was mulling over his sadness when he heard Lingyang Lu's gritted voice. Our Lingyang could no longer stand it. He started plotting how to get his toy Sunrong back. The little bunny and Sunrong walked and chatted as they went. Suddenly, they saw three carnivores bullying the Antelope Lu Wei. Sunrong didn't say a word and rushed forward to punch one of the carnivores. Upon seeing this, the hare quickly ran over to help Lu Wei up, while Sunrong, furious, yelled at the three carnivores, "How dare you bully someone under my protection? From now on, you're not allowed to bully herbivores. Do you hear me?" The three carnivores were also enraged. The big gray wolf held its forehead and viciously yelled back at Sunrong, "Playing for real, huh? You really think I'm afraid of a little runt like you?" A fierce light shot straight towards the three carnivores. The three carnivores were instantly scared out of their wits. This was all part of Antelope Lu Wei's plan. Just a few hours ago, Lu Wei intercepted the three carnivores, telling them to start bullying him as soon as they saw Sunrong and Bailey approaching. This request terrified the three carnivores. They pleaded, "Boss Lu, how could we dare to bully you?" Lu Wei glared at them and said, "Less talk, just do as I say." The three poor carnivores were shocked by a herbivore and reluctantly said, "Got it, boss." Boss Lu Wei looked down at them and said, "Good, now start reciting your lines. Sunrong, you're amazing. We can't beat you in 24 hours, but Lu Wei, you better have Sunrong follow you around 24/7. If you end up alone, you'll be sorry." The poor trio, under Lu Wei's command, nervously recited their lines in front of Sunrong, then quickly turned and fled. The term fox exploiting the tigers might perfectly describe Sunrong and Lu Wei. Sunrong shouted at the fleeing trio, "How dare you threaten people?" He then made as if to chase after them to teach them a lesson, but was pulled back by Lu Wei, who put on a weak and helpless expression. "Forget it, maybe they were just saying it," Lu Wei said pitifully. Sunrong, now more concerned, argued, "How can we let it go? What if they were serious? Better safe than sorry. I can't just follow you around 24 hours a day. Maybe I should find out who they are." Lu Wei shakily stood up and sighed, "No need. Besides, staying together for 24 hours isn't that hard. Didn't they organize an event where carnivores and herbivores share a dorm? Lu Wei, your trick of playing dumb to catch the tiger worked brilliantly. But your fox's tail is showing." Our poor Sunrong had no idea he was being completely outsmarted by Lu Wei. On the first day of the great lion Mu Wei living with his wife, our big lion had already started to get a nosebleed when Mu Wei saw a rabbit doll placed on Bailee's desk. He picked it up, looked it over from left to right, and thought it looked so much like Bailee. "They're both so cute." Bailee, who was tidying up nearby, saw this, and was shocked. That was his own prototype. He yelled, and the big lion was instantly startled. The toy rabbit in his hand was instantly crushed by the big lion. Oh my, this scene terrified our little rabbit Bailee, fearing one day he might also be crushed by the big lion. "It's all over," the big lion felt he had caused trouble. He apologized repeatedly with a sorrowful face, saying, "I'm sorry, it was an accident. I'll compensate you." Seeing that the big lion Mu Wei didn't do it on purpose, the little rabbit, though still frightened, still generously forgave him. "It's okay, I made it myself. It's not valuable. I'll just patch it up later." The big lion was smitten, gazing at the little rabbit Bailee, and felt happy discovering another side of Bailee. "I've finished tidying up." The little rabbit had his area neat and tidy, which shocked the big lion. What to do? His own side was still a mess. "Let me help you then." The little rabbit began to help the big lion make the bed. But the big lion pulled hard, causing the little rabbit to lose balance and fall directly onto the bed. The big lion was immediately shocked and hurriedly apologized, Sorry, I used too much strength." "Are you okay?" The little rabbit staggered up from the bed and said it was okay, but our big lion still stood there, feeling very guilty. Finally, with their combined efforts, the entire room became very clean and tidy. The big lion planned to move his fitness equipment out. The kind-hearted little rabbit quickly came to help. However, not paying attention, she was tripped by a barbell on the floor. Luckily, the big lion was quick to catch the little rabbit. And the little rabbit's collar slid down halfway in the process, causing our innocent big lion to have a nosebleed instantly. But the little rabbit, seeing the big lion's nosebleed, had no idea it was because of her collar. She even asked if the big lion had hurt his nose when she bumped into him. The big lion quickly turned away, covering his disobedient nose, saying it wasn't that, perhaps he accidentally hit it while moving the dumbbells. The little rabbit considerately handed him a tissue. The big lion was so embarrassed that he couldn't even look at the little rabbit, simply closing his eyes. The first morning living together with his partner was like this. And like this. The big lion bashfully washed his face. Then, with a clear mind and high spirits, he starts to shake his lion's head, accidentally splashing the innocent little bunny, Bailey. When the big lion snaps back to reality, he realizes that he has splashed the little bunny all over. Feeling very embarrassed, he quickly uses a towel to dry off the little bunny. The little bunny, covered by the towel, is speechless. One would think that the big lion and the little bunny had a bad enough first morning, but unexpectedly, the pair next door is even more exaggerated. Lu Wei, with a full head of frustration, carries the still half-asleep Sun Rong to class. Upon a closer look, one can even see Sun Rong's drool on Lu Wei's back. The school specifically arranges for students in mixed dormitories to be in the same class. The first class is a baseline test, and the little bunny is a true academic overachiever. These questions are really too simple for him. He steals glances at the big lion, Mu Wei. Mu Wei looks so handsome while concentrating on the test. The big lion and the little bunny go to the cafeteria to eat together. But on the way, the little bunny realizes that all the herbivores they encounter hide away from the big lion. Turns out everyone keeps their distance from Mu Wei. But big lion Mu Wei is really nice and wouldn't hurt herbivores. Why does everyone treat Mu Wei this way? The little bunny starts to feel a bit heartbroken. The big lion Mu Wei senses the little bunny's mood change. Mu Wei turns his head and asks, "What's wrong?" The little rabbit didn't know how to start and could only shake his head and say it was nothing. Arriving at the mixed restaurant, the big lion deliberately chose the seat that the little bunny liked before. It turned out that the big lion had always been paying attention to him. But thinking about how he had treated the big lion before, he felt really guilty. He lowered his head and sincerely began to apologize. "I misunderstood you and avoided you before. You are such a good person, and I still treated you that way. I'm really sorry." "It's okay, it's normal." The big lion, who was used to it, didn't take it seriously at all. This made the little bunny feel even more remorseful. He indignantly said, "This is discrimination. You're such a good person. It's so unfair to treat you this way." Mu Wei did not expect that Zili would defend him like this now. Though he said, "It's really okay," his heart was already blooming with happiness. Seeing that Zili still looked indignant on his behalf, Mu Wei began to feign a look of grievance, saying, "Being seen as a bad person sometimes does feel very lonely and hurtful. I can't even sleep well at night. But hearing you say this makes me very happy. So, if you could be closer to me in the future, I would be even happier." Really, Zili felt that Mu Wei really had it tough. He sincerely looked at Mu Wei and solemnly promised, "I will definitely treat you well in the future." Beside them, the antelope Lu Wei heard their entire conversation clearly and couldn't help but marvel that Mu Wei was also starting to be savvy. The wife personally cooks for her husband and even feeds him herself. What kind of experience is that? This segment is simply too sweet. Lu Wei plans to go out for lunch with Sun Rong. Lu Wei planned to go out for lunch with Sun Rong to enjoy some time together. However, the clueless Sun Rong turned around and invited their older brother Mu Wei to join. Lu Wei looked frustrated. On the other hand, the big lion Mu Wei smugly said, "Sorry, we brought our own food." Upon hearing this, Sun Rong fell off his chair, exclaiming, "No way, boss, your cooking skills." Sun Rong didn't know how to criticize his older brother's cooking. Lu Wei quickly responded, "It's made by Zili, right?" Indeed, it was the little rabbit Zili who cooked it. The food looked so appetizing even through the screen. Sun Rong stared intently at the delicacies in front of him, exclaiming, "There's even meat." Zili scratched his head shyly and said, "Actually, it's all artificial meat. I wanted to make some real meat dishes for Mu Wei, but he refused. I always feel bad making Mu Wei eat things he doesn't like." Mu Wei seized the opportunity to impress the little bunny, saying, "No need to feel bad. It's all for the sake of our two tribes getting along and living in harmony. Eating less meat is no big deal." This self-sacrificing speech made Zili's affection for Mu Wei rise to a new height. Zili eagerly pushed the food container in front of Mu Wei and said, "Try it, please. If you like it, I'll make it for you every day." The antelope Lu Wei stood expressionless, watching Mu Wei's performance and silently mocking him in his heart. Unable to stand it any longer, Lu Wei grabbed the drooling Sun Rong and started to leave. "Want to join us?" I specially prepared this for you. Bailey quickly called out to Lu Wei and Sun Rong. Song Rong happily started eating without a second word, picking up his chopsticks and paying no attention to the big lion glaring at him fiercely. The big lion's face was so dark, it almost looked like the bottom of a pot. He glared at Lu Wei and with his eyes, told Lu Wei that he could handle it all by himself, no need for them. But Lu Wei stuck out her tongue at him, signaling she wouldn't leave. The big lion started to eat, clearly annoyed. He just took a bite and his eyes lit up. This is so delicious, he exclaimed, giving multiple thumbs up to Zilai, who was overjoyed. Subconsciously, he fed a shrimp to the big lion, who was stunned by the sudden happiness. Then, as he bit down, the little rabbit chased after him happily, asking, "How is it? Tasty?" The big lion nodded repeatedly. Suddenly, the little rabbit realized what she had just done and turned around, her face blushing with embarrassment. Lu Wei, however, saw the whole lovey-dovey scene clearly. Never one to be outdone, Lu Wei turned to Song Rong, who was wolfing down his food, and said, "I just twisted my finger and can't eat by myself. What should I do?" The words "feed me" might as well have been written on Lu Wei's face. But Song Rong, true to his nature, jumped 3 feet in the air at her words, excitedly saying, "Really? Then I'll help you finish it." Saying this, he directly moved the food box in front of Lu Wei away. Oh, how angry Lu Wei was. Oh my, whose hand is this that actually tore someone's clothes to shreds? The one whose clothes got torn and fell heavily was the little rabbit Bailey, and the owner of that hand was the big lion Mu Wei. But the big lion is inherently kind and didn't mean to tear the little rabbit's clothes. He was just too excited while teaching Bailey how to play ball and didn't control his strength, which led to this accident. Even though it was unintentional, he still tore the little rabbit's clothes and caused him to fall. He couldn't forgive himself. He had been upset the whole day. No matter how the little rabbit tried to console him, the big lion remained dejected and self-reproachful. He even went so far as to clip his claws. The big lion taking it so seriously was quite a shock to the little rabbit, who also began to feel guilty. He ran to the next dormitory to find Sun Rong. "It's all my fault for not stopping Mu Wei in time. How can a good lion be without claws?" Sun Rong, upon hearing that their leader lost his claws, jumped off the bed to find Mu Wei, but was stopped by his tail being caught by Lu Wei behind him. Lu Wei said to Sun Rong, who had hit the ground, "What's there to talk about with 2 cats? Besides, Bailey came to you for a reason, right?" Only then did Sun Rong realize and looked at Bailey inquisitively. Bailey asked worriedly, "I just wanted to ask, what happens if a carnivore doesn't have claws?" Song Rong comforted Zili, saying it wasn't a big deal. "It's just that among carnivores, one might be looked down upon, but the boss doesn't have to worry about this. When the boss gets excited, the kids just run out. When Tianimu gets excited, his claws come out unconsciously. When Dada gets excited, he even catches several basketballs. Everyone hopes he can pick them up. Moreover, the boss's claws grow very fast, so there's no need to worry." Song Rong was speaking enthusiastically when he found his own hand stuck. Suddenly, Lu Wei confronted Song Rong, asking, "What are you doing?" Lu Wei stared at Song Rong, saying, "Look, Mu Wei was afraid of hurting Bailey, he even cut his nails for you." Song Rong instinctively shouted, "Not at all. I need my claws to protect you." Upon hearing this, Lu Wei immediately froze. As a genuine carnivore, Song Rong is committed to protecting herbivores, proclaiming to protect the antelope Lu Wei 24 hours a day. This is also why Song Rong and Lu Wei share a room. While they were messing around, the big lion Mu Wei arrived. Upon seeing his boss, Song Rong immediately let go of Lu Wei. Lu Wei, feeling resentful, firmly hugged Song Rong in his arms. At the same time, he was quite displeased, glancing sideways at the big lion and secretly cursing the insensitive guy. Our big lion's attention, from start to finish, was always on his little rabbit Bailey. He smiled at Bailey, saying, "It's almost lights out, let's go back." Back in the dorm, Bailey gently took the big lion's hand and made a very solemn promise to him. "I will take responsibility. Before your claws grow back, I will protect you." The big lion was amazed. He didn't expect that just picking up a claw would touch the little bunny so deeply. It was worth it. This claw trimming was really straight. The big lion was working out in his dormitory. He saw the little rabbit Bailey drawing, and the big lion peeked around to see what Bailey was drawing. But Bailey stubbornly covered his drawing, not letting Mu Wei see it. Mystery was in the air as Bailey said to Mu Wei, "It's a secret. You'll know later." Our understanding big lion decided not to interrupt Bailey's drawing. He pushed open the door to the neighboring dormitory, intending to work out in Sun Rong and Lu Wei's dorm. As soon as he opened the door, the scene from the opening appeared. He saw the antelope Lu Wei pinning Sun Rong down, and surprisingly, as a carnivore, Sun Rong was powerless. When Sun Rong saw his boss arriving, he called out for help like seeing a savior, /boss, save me, /. At this moment, the big lion, Mu Wei, was also baffled. He asked in confusion, what are you doing, Lu Wei said proudly, how about it? Not bad, right, Still struggling, Sun Rong was held tight by Lu Wei. Lu Wei continued, this guy has a bad sleeping posture at night and always rolls off the bed, so I pushed the beds together on purpose, Sun Rong loudly protested, liar. It's clearly because you wanted a pillow to hug while sleeping. Last night, you hugged my tail all night, watching the two of them tussling on the bed. The big lion also laughed. The big lion also opened up, puffing and puffing, he ran back to his dormitory. Touching his lion head, he said breathily to Zili who was about to sleep, I saw Lu Wei and Sun Rong push their beds together. The little rabbit was stunned, hesitantly saying, isn't that just like sleeping in one bed? The big lion thought to himself, it's actually just one quilt, but it might scare the little bunny. Right there, he made up a grand-sounding excuse, Lu Wei and Sun Rong think it overcomes territorial awareness. Sleeping together is true harmonious coexistence. Shall we do the same? The little rabbit hesitated for a moment and then answered, it's not that it's not okay. The big lion was instantly overjoyed, but the little bunny was still struggling. He felt embarrassed as at night, Lu Wei and Sun Rong slept soundly hugging each other, while on the other side Lu Wei and Zili were too proper. Is there a difference between being sick together and not being sick together? He asked. Our big lion was still somewhat thrilled, after all, Zili was right by his side. He was so nervous that he couldn't sleep at all. He turned his head to sneak a peek at Zili, saw Zili sleeping peacefully, secretly pulled over a corner of Zili's quilt. Zili's quilt had a sweet scent, and our big lion finally entered a sweet dreamland. And our little rabbit, Bailey, was actually not asleep either. He turned his head to look at the big lion, finding the sleeping lion so cute that the little rabbit couldn't help but get closer. Smelling the big lion, the little rabbit found his scent very familiar, yet somewhat different, and gradually, the little rabbit also fell into a deep sleep. Truly, the sight of the big lion sleeping melted his heart. Unexpectedly, the little rabbit and the big lion. The little rabbit was charmed by the big lion's cuteness. The little rabbit, Bailey, sneaked off to the bathroom to finish sewing the carefully prepared gift for the little lion, a cat scratching board. Holding the snail cat scratching board, the little rabbit thought that the big lion, Mu Wei, would definitely love it. The drowsily sleeping big lion stretched out his hand, only to find that the little rabbit was not by his side. He immediately woke up. The little rabbit, having finished the cat scratching board, returned to the bedroom and gently covered the big lion with a blanket. Patting the half-asleep big lion, he softly coaxed, "Be good, I'm here. Go to sleep." Gradually, both of them fell into a deep sleep. The next day, after physical education class, the little rabbit planned to clean up the sports equipment with Mu Wei. But the big lion didn't want the little rabbit to do heavy work, so he let the little rabbit go take a bath first. The little rabbit thought it was fine, and decided to return to the dorm after the bath to prepare a special gift for the big lion, a scratching post, and surprise him upon his return. On the way back to the dorm, an unexpected incident occurred. 3 carnivorous animals stopped the little rabbit and asked Bailey to pick up a football for them. Bailey didn't think much and eagerly helped to pick it up. However, the 3 carnivores then told Bailey to put the football back in the equipment room rack. The kind-hearted little rabbit Bailey was initially startled but then quite happy, because he could now interact normally with the carnivores and felt he was making progress. He joyfully credited all these achievements to the big lion, Mu Wei. While Bailey was in high spirits, the door of the equipment room suddenly slammed shut. Bailey pounded on the door anxiously shouting, "Hey, what's going on? I haven't gone out yet." Outside the door, however, came the mocking voice of a big gray wolf. "Ha, of course it's intentional to lock you in there." Another big gray wolf angrily warned, saying that a mere little rabbit had taken their boss away, and now the boss didn't even seem like a boss anymore. "Be wise and stay away from our boss," he said. Ever since the big lion Mu Wei and the little rabbit Bailey became roommates, he hasn't paid much attention to these loyal little fans anymore, which sparked resentment from the little fans towards the little rabbit. Meanwhile, our kind-hearted little rabbit Bailey was still banging on the door, calling out to the carnivores walking away, trying to explain. "I didn't steal your boss, could there be some misunderstanding? Let's talk it over," but no one responded to him anymore. The little bunny ended up trapped in the equipment room without his phone, unable to contact anyone. Would our kind and lovely little bunny really have to spend the night in there? What kind of situation occurred that made Mu Wei, the leader of the carnivores, willing to lose all dignity and image, sniffing around on the ground like a dog? It turns out that Mu Wei only realized Bailey was missing after he returned to the dormitory. Lu Wei, the antelope, said that they didn't see Bailey in the mixed bath earlier. The lion panicked immediately. If he had returned to the dormitory with Bai Li, nothing would have happened to him. The lion was deeply immersed in self-blame. Meanwhile, Bai Li, who was trapped in the equipment room, was thinking of ways to escape. He stacked many boxes under the window, planning to escape by climbing over them. But poor Bai Li failed again and again. Just when he was about to give up hope, he heard the school's broadcast asking for anyone who sees Bai Li from the mixed class to inform the student council or contact Mu Wei. Bai Li thought that Mu Wei must be worried about not being able to find him, so he gathered his courage and continued to try to escape through the window. As the sun set, Mu Wei was nearly breaking down. He grabbed anyone he saw to ask if they had seen Bai Li. However, so much time had passed, and there was still no trace of Bai Li. After finding out that Lu Wei and Sun Rong had also checked the surveillance footage at the school gate and hadn't seen Bai Li leave the school, the three were at a loss. That was when Mu Wei took out Bai Li's phone and started sniffing it. And then he just lay on the ground, completely disregarding his image, sticking to the ground and sniffing madly. Bai Li's cell phone had Bai Li's scent on it. Mu Wei planned to find Su Li through the scent. A mighty lion, at this moment, actually started acting like a dog regardless of anything. This scene made Mu Wei's little fan brother, Sun Rong, completely unable to accept it. While desperately trying to pull Mu Wei up, Sun Rong shouted, "Boss, I understand you, but it would be more appropriate to let De Huang and Xiao Hei help." However, Mu Wei didn't want to wait even a moment longer, and no matter how hard Sun Rong pulled, he couldn't move Mu Wei. Lu Wei, the antelope, also couldn't stand to see his good brother go crazy like this. He rolled up his sleeves and turned to rush towards the carnivore's dormitory. It must be those carnivores doing. Sun Rong quickly hugged Lu Wei's thigh to stop him, saying, "You're so weak, yet you dare to trouble the carnivores? You'll definitely be." Mu Wei followed the remaining scent of Bai Li and finally found a clue. He grabbed the foot in front of him that had Bai Li's scent. "Boss Lion, why are you here?" The gray wolf whose foot was caught was both shocked and scared. Mu Wei grabbed the gray wolf and said through gritted teeth, "Why do you have Bai Li's scent on you?" In the equipment room, Bai Pair stacked the cardboard boxes high, thinking that with such height, she should be able to climb out the window. However, as soon as Bai Li stepped on the shaky cardboard boxes, the fragile boxes collapsed instantly. Bai Li's whole body uncontrollably fell backward. "Bai Li!" A cry of alarm was heard as the door to the equipment room was pushed open. In the golden glow of the setting sun, a tall figure appeared at the door. Bai Li closed her eyes, thinking that she was definitely going to have a terrible fall. However, the anticipated severe pain did not come. He slowly opened his eyes, and an unexpected familiar face appeared before him. It was the lion, Mu Wei, who caught him at the last moment. Mu Wei caught him. Mu Wei gently comforted the frightened Zili. "Don't be afraid, I'm here." The thoughtful lover turned into a little chef, both skillful at home and in the kitchen. The little bunny is so happy. "So, do you think the lion's cooking skills are like this or like this?" The little rabbit was rescued by the lion from the equipment room. Scared at night, the little bunny dreamt of the lion always staying by his side. Suddenly, a loud noise woke him up. Sun Rong knelt on the ground, cleaning up the broken cup, and said apologetically to Zili, Sorry, I woke you up." When the lion Mu Wei heard the little bunny was awake, he eagerly poked his lion head out from the kitchen to look at Bai Li. At this moment, Mu Wei was wearing a pink apron, holding a spoon high, planning to make a loving breakfast for Zili. Antelope Lu Wei measured Zili's temperature and sighed with relief, saying, 37.2 degrees, the fever has almost gone down. Unable to restrain himself, the lion pounced in front of the little bunny, held the little bunny's hand, and asked with great concern, "Are you okay?" Wingman Lu Wei seized the moment to whisper in the little bunny's ear, "When Sun Rong and I came over, this guy seemed to be watching you by your bed all the time. Who knows how long he watched you?" No wonder the little bunny dreamt of the lion staying by his side. It turned out he really stayed by his side all night. The sharp-eared lion hurriedly covered up, "Don't listen to his nonsense. How could I be watching you all night?" All night, Antelope Lu Wei, as if discovering a great secret, deliberately elongated the words all night with a mischievous smile, emphasizing them in front of the little bunny. Mu Wei didn't know how to continue the conversation. Our little bunny cracks a smile. Touched, he thanks the big lion, "Thank you, Mu Wei, for your concern." The big lion leans close to the little rabbit and gently responds, "I'm glad you're okay. The porridge is here. The porridge is here." Sun Rong, with a loud voice, brings the love-filled breakfast the big lion carefully prepared for the little bunny. This love-filled breakfast, why does it look more and more like the legendary dark cuisine? The little bunny, looking at the dark cuisine, love-filled breakfast in his hands, is momentarily stunned. Mu Wei stands by, full of anticipation, while Sun Rong by the side praises his boss. "This was personally made by Big Brother. Hearing that the big lion personally made it for him, the little rabbit is moved to tears. I must drink this porridge, and tilts his head back, gulping it down in 3 big swallows. Then, this scene unfolds, holding the little bunny, his eyes roll back, his legs stiffen, and he collapses straight down. Catch him. Today, the big lion showed off his cooking skills, which nearly sent the little rabbit off right from the spot. Unable to bear it any longer, the antelope Lu Wei kicks the big lion out of the kitchen, then rolls up his sleeves to take over. This technique, this heat control, this posture, all mesmerize Sun Rong, who's peeking at the doorway, utterly enchanted. Sun Rong gave a thumbs up and exclaimed, "It's such a pity you're a guy. If you were a girl, I would marry you." Lu Wei's displeasure momentarily flashed across his face before he turned and chuckled. Well, that would indeed be delightful. Only then did Sun Rong realize what he had just said, feeling instantly embarrassed. He quickly changed the subject. "Since you're so good, why not cook more often in our dorm? Please, please?" His coquettish tone was too much for Lu Wei, who wholeheartedly agreed. All right, as long as you behave." Honey slurping plus little bunny finally got to enjoy a delicious bowl of porridge. Compared to the dark cuisine that Big Lion just made, the porridge Lu Wei made is simply a heavenly delight. Big Lion, who was outdone, shamefully hid in the bathroom, sobbing and complaining to the mirror about how outstanding Lu Wei was, good at studies, sports, and popular too. "I didn't expect him to be so good at cooking as well. He's too amazing. No, I can't let myself be outdone like this. I must expose that guy's true colors to Bailey." Big Lion accidentally spotted something strange in a drawer. He took it out to look. It turned out to be a hand scratch board. Clutching the scratch board, Big Lion asked Zeely, "Why is there a hand scratch board in the bathroom?" Zeely covered his face. "It's a gift I prepared for Mu Wei." He had just bought wrapping paper and was planning to wrap it before giving it to Mu Wei, but Mu Wei discovered it prematurely. Big Lion comforted little bunny, saying, "Shall I put it back and pretend I didn't see it?" Xiao Mianzi hurriedly waved his hand. "No need. I originally wanted to sew a bunny for you, but it felt a bit unlucky. I'm so glad you like this snail grab board." Deshitsi couldn't let go of it, rubbing it against his face, saying, "I really like it, thank you." Xiao Mianzi, Bai Li, took Deshitsi, Mu Wei's arm, took out the claw grooming tool, and pulled his hand. He giggled and said, "Let me file your nails. This is a new skill I learned specially from Sun Rong." Thus, the manicurist Bai Li officially began her work. Deshitsi was stunned, watching Xiao Mianzi focused on filing his claws. Deshitsi thought Xiao Mianzi was the angel in his heart. With his head lowered, Xiao Tuzi said, "I heard there's a claw grooming tool specifically for carnivores at the gym, but you haven't been going recently." Remembering how Mu Wei clipped his nails because of me before, Xiao Tuzi felt very guilty. "Mu Wei, I hope you can be like before, with sharp claws, eat more meat, and play basketball with friends. I'm really happy you've changed so much for me, but I hope even more that you're happy. So just be yourself," he suddenly said, expectantly looking at Deshitsi. Deshitsi was so moved by Xiao Mianzi's considerate words that he didn't know how to respond. Looking at Deshitsi, who was moved to tears, Xiao Tuzi's eyes curved in a smile, finding the Mu Wei in front of him so adorable. Oh no, the great lion's nosebleed is out of control again, while on the other side, Sun Rong is busily sharpening his sharp claws. The antelope, Lu Wei, can't stand it anymore. "Why don't you go grind them on the floor? You're making a mess on the bed with all these shavings." Thinking he's being considerate, Sun Rong replies, "But then you'd have to sweep the floor. Plus, if I dirty my clothes, I'd trouble you to wash them. That's why I specifically chose the bed." Lu Wei is speechless. "Oh, thank you so much." Sun Rong, as if remembering something, leans on the bed and says to Lu Wei, "You know, I just went next door. I saw Big Brother sleeping with the scratchboard Zeely gave him. And yesterday, when Big Brother was on the ground looking for Zeely, I've never seen him so in love." Sun Rong, somewhat excitedly, turns to Lu Wei. "Do you think Big Brother really loves Zeely?" Lu Wei looks at Sun Rong, who's finally opening up, waiting for his opinion on the matter. After thinking for a while, Lu Wei thought Sun Rong was about to deliver a lengthy discourse. Unexpectedly, Sun Rong turns his back to continue sharpening his claws, mumbling, "Don't know, as long as they're happy, it's fine. Forget it, as long as those two are happy." With Sun Rong's posture, even a scheming antelope can't help but pay attention. Lu Wei grabs the big peach in front of him with both hands, and while marveling, he praises Sun Rong. "Basketball really is a great sport." Sun Rong immediately explodes. "Lu Wei, what are you doing?" Then, a thunderous fight breaks out inside the room. The next day, Big Lion looks puzzled at the injuries on Lu Wei's face. "What happened to your face?" Lu Wei, with his head down, covers his wounds and mutters, "I fell last night." Meanwhile, the usually chatty Sun Rong doesn't say a word today. Just staring with red-faced anger, clenching his fists, he storms off ahead. "Where's the rabbit? I'm looking for Mianzi. Where has my Mianzi gone?" Congrats, Big Lion Mu Wei joins the search party for Mianzi. Just a moment ago, Mu Wei and the little rabbit Bai Li were together. They were chatting and laughing. The little rabbit even asked Mu Wei if he was going back home for the weekend. Thinking to himself, why go home when there's no little rabbit there? Hearing Big Lion say he's not going home for the weekend, the little rabbit suggests they go grocery shopping together. Instantly, Big Lion imagines a warm scene of shopping with the little rabbit, feeling delightful inside. Seeing the antelope ahead, Lu Wei mocks, why is Lu Wei alone? Why isn't he with Sun Rong? Lu Wei retorts without showing weakness, what about you? Aren't you alone too? The Big Lion turns around in shock, but the little rabbit Bai Li is nowhere to be seen. The Big Lion explodes on the spot, where is Bai Li? He was just by my side. Congratulations to the Big Lion for joining the search party. Is Bai Li being pinned against the wall at this moment? No, he must have been kidnapped. It's the doing of these three carnivores again. Just moments ago, the Big Lion was fantasizing about shopping with the little rabbit and didn't notice his absence. Bai Li was distracted by a cute kitten in the bushes and then unsuspectingly got his mouth covered and was taken away. Bai Li trembles in fear as he stares at the three formidable carnivores, shivering, what are you going to do? Before Bai Li could finish speaking, he saw the three carnivores kneeling before him. Zilei is so shocked he can't even speak clearly. What's going on with you guys? The three little ones start to cry bitterly, lamenting their recent plight. The boss has been ignoring us for a long time. We went to see the boss, and he wouldn't even glance at us. We've texted and called the boss, but he doesn't answer at all. Big Grey Wolf clings to Zilei's legs, pleading, you have the best relationship with the boss. Can you get him to pay attention to us? We can't live without the boss. This is the first time Zilei has encountered such a scene, and he is quite speechless. Stop crying, get up, he says. Big Grey Wolf clings tightly to Zilei, refusing to let go. I won't get up unless you agree. Are you threatening him? Suddenly, a large hand picks Big Grey Wolf up. Seeing the imposing Big Lion Mu Wei arrive, the poor three little ones quickly cling to Mu Wei's legs, begging for forgiveness. Kind Little Rabbit also pleads for the three little ones, and Big Lion, for the sake of Little Rabbit, finally forgives them. The three little ones sincerely apologize to Little Rabbit, who gets a bit embarrassed, repeatedly waving his hands and saying, it's okay, I know how much you like Mu Wei. If he always ignores me, I'd feel very sad. Upon hearing this, the Big Lion immediately took the little rabbit's hand and promised solemnly, I will never ignore you. The three little ones on the side were happy, thinking the little rabbit wasn't so bad and was worthy of their brother. Could this be our sister-in-law? The cunning antelope Lu Wei just now, because of his obsession with cleanliness, decided to do a thorough cleaning. Directly threw Sun Rong onto the table to squat. Sun Rong, feeling wronged, squatted on the table for an entire morning, his stomach growling with hunger. He was calling out for food, but Lu Wei refused, saying the freshly mopped floor was still wet, stay put, effectively shutting Sun Rong up. Just then, the Big Lion Mu Wei came to ask if he wanted to join them for a meal. Lu Wei conveniently handed Mu Wei a bag of trash to throw away. Mu Wei turned aside, pretending to see nothing and talking to himself, you said let's eat first, right? Alright then, we're leaving. Lu Wei, annoyed, said, what are you pretending for? Just then, the little rabbit Bai Li poked his head in asking if Lu Wei was not going to eat. Taking the opportunity, Lu Wei handed the trash bag to Bai Li, asking him to help throw it away. The always helpful Bai Li was happy to extend his hand to take it, but Mu Wei snatched it away, saying, let me do this kind of thing. Lu Wei was speechless. Mu Wei was just too hypocritical. On the side, Sun Rong was so hungry he could feel his front touching his back. He weakly asked Lu Wei if the cleaning was done as he was starving. Already annoyed, Lu Wei grabbed Sun Rong's face upon hearing more complaints, scolded him fiercely, saying he had done nothing all morning yet still dared to complain. After joking around, Lu Wei sent a WeChat message to Disher Z, asking him to help buy Sun Rong's favorite limited-time red bean cakes. Disher Z glanced at the long queue and directly replied, too many people, not buying. He then retracted the message and sent, sold out. Lu Wei immediately saw through it, realizing Mu Wei was just too lazy to line up. Bai Li, the little rabbit, sighed at the long queue and said disappointedly, no red bean cakes for today again. Upon hearing this, Mu Wei quickly said, the limited-time ones? I'll buy them for you. Just as Bai Li was about to say no, Disher Z had already walked briskly towards the long queue. In the canteen, Lu Wei finally brought Sun Rong for a meal. They found Mu Wei and Zili. Bai Li curiously asked Lu Wei why she had a lunchbox. Sun Rong snidely remarked, some girl gave it to her at the dorm entrance. Lu Wei pushed the lunchbox to the table and said, you guys eat it. Sun Rong, puzzled, asked, why? The girl specially made it for you. Lu Wei arrogantly replied, if you won't eat it, I'll just throw it away. I have a hygiene habit and won't eat it. Lu Wei's eyes lit up as he saw the red bean cakes on the table. Seeing the situation, de Zi quickly moved the red bean cakes in front of the little rabbit and picked up a piece. Feeding the little rabbit personally, come and eat while it's still hot. The little rabbit happily bit into the red bean pancake, accidentally touching the big lion's hand with its small mouth. The big lion's face turned red, his heart raced, and he started to have a nosebleed uncontrollably. He stared blankly at his hand, deciding not to wash it all day. Lu Wei watched the scene in utter delight. Not to be outdone, Lu Wei grabbed Sun Rong's hand that was holding chopsticks and directly swallowed a piece of tofu from Sun Rong's chopsticks. Sun Rong immediately got furious, punching Lu Wei and shouting, "What are you doing? That was my only piece of fried tofu." The little rabbit watched in astonishment, wondering what happened to the claimed germophobia. The big lion accidentally became close with the little rabbit, throwing flowers in celebration, having long fantasized about being with the little rabbit. The big lion Mu Wei, who had long dreamed of going to the supermarket with the little bunny, finally had his wish come true today. The big lion pushed the cart. With a satisfied look, he watched the little bunny select ingredients. This scene was so heartwarming. But soon, the big lion noticed that all the people coming and going in the supermarket were intimate couples. Encouraged, the big lion blushed and slowly moved his hand closer to the little bunny's hand. Just as he was about to touch the bunny's hand, the big lion was so nervous that his heart was about to jump out. However, in the next second, the little bunny suddenly pulled her hand away to get a bag of chips from the shelf. So close. The big lion was going crazy inside, but he had to appear calm on the outside. It was really torturous. Suddenly, the little bunny tugged at the big lion's clothes. "Mu Wei, can you help me get those chips?" The little bunny, due to her height, couldn't reach the chips, so she asked the big lion for help. The big lion looked at the bunny who was eagerly looking at him, and his wildly beating heart was struck again. With a slight raise of his hand, the big lion took down the chips. He asked the little bunny, "Do you like this flavor? Is one bag enough?" The little bunny happily took the chips and said, "I don't know if it's good or not, I haven't had it before because it was placed too high. Today I finally have the chance to try it." The big lion then said, "I'll get it for you from now on." The little rabbit was extremely happy, yes, and then the little bunny asked the big lion to help get a lot of snacks that he wanted to eat before but couldn't reach. The two were happily choosing snacks when the supermarket's vegetable section had a sale because of direct sourcing, and everyone swarmed to grab the cheap vegetables. The big lion and the little rabbit were almost separated by the rushing crowd. The big lion firmly grabbed the little bunny's arm and pulled the little rabbit back. Suddenly, the little bunny was bumped by someone behind him. He lost his balance and pounced toward the big lion. The next moment, the little rabbit pounced right into the big lion's arms, and their lips met perfectly. They actually kissed. For a long time, both of them were blushing and felt extremely awkward, not knowing how to face each other. And not far behind them, a pair of eyes saw the whole scene clearly. "Where did you find such a cute little bunny?" The follow-up to the unexpected TT between the big lion and the little bunny has arrived. The two awkwardly moved to a less populated area. At this moment, the little bunny realized that his hand was still on the big lion's hand. He quickly withdrew his hand, and the scene of the two sticking together flashed in his mind. Blushing, he stammered, saying there were too many people. To cover up his embarrassment, he stiffly walked forward, saying, "It's no big deal. Let's go check out first." The big lion was still immersed in the scene where he TT'd with the little bunny in the manga, not yet recovered. Mu Wei, the little bunny waved at him, trying to snap him out of it. The big lion just came to his senses. In an instant, his eyes fell on the little bunny's cherry-like mouth, and his heart exploded like a volcano. The little bunny grabbed Mu Wei's sleeve and walked towards the checkout. The big lion responded awkwardly, Okay, let's go check out." As he spoke, he inexplicably grasped the little bunny's hand and walked briskly toward the cashier. The little bunny's face turned beet red, his heart pounding wildly. He sneaked a glance at Mu Wei. At this moment, Mu Wei remained composed and indifferent, while the little bunny tried hard to convince himself, "Mu Wei isn't taking it seriously, don't mind. But what little bunny didn't know was that at this moment, Mu Wei was dancing with joy inside, thanking God, "I bonded with little bunny today, Mom, do you know? Your son finally managed to express his feelings today." After returning home, little bunny prepared a rich hot pot. Sun Rong, looking at the fragrant hot pot, was drooling. Lu Wei was about to add some potatoes for Sun Rong, but someone intercepted him halfway. The big lion snatched the potatoes from Lu Wei and put them in little bunny's bowl. "Thank you, Mu Wei." Lu Wei felt like he was fed a mouthful of dog food, unwillingly re-added a piece of meat for Sun Rong. Not to be outdone, the big lion also fiercely grabbed food for the person he liked. Sun Rong, a pure foodie, praised as he ate. Delicious, delicious, I love you so much, Zeely. Zeely was very happy, then come and eat often. Meanwhile, the crazy duo of adding dishes were stunned. Lu Wei, feeling downcast, directly put Sun Rong's favorite corn sausage into his own bowl. Humph, little brat. It was me who served you the food, and yet you turn around to love someone else. Sun Rong was desperate. He pounced on Lu Wei, trying to snatch his beloved corn sausage back from Lu Wei's mouth. Lu Wei was pinned down, quite speechless. Sun Rong, you fool, hurry up, I'm going to swallow it. Mu Wei and Bai Li, hearing the words hurry up, were reminded of the awkward scene in the supermarket, and their faces turned red and hearts raced again. Sun Rong would give up his dignity just for a corn sausage. Lu Wei ate the corn sausage that Sun Rong loved, and Sun Rong insisted on snatching it back from his mouth. The two almost got into a fight. Afterwards, Lu Wei, having gained an advantage, still teased, Sun Rong, you really have no shame at all. All for a corn sausage, you would give up your dignity? Mind your own business. Sun Rong, this naive fool, didn't even realize how inappropriate his actions were. He was still upset about not getting the corn sausage. At this moment, the little rabbit and the big lion, listening to their conversation, were blushing. Bai Li was speaking incoherently. Actually, dignity isn't that important in the early stages, Mu Wei strongly agreed. Yeah, what's all this fuss about being proper or not, huh? Seeing their guilty expressions, Lu Wei suddenly realized, don't tell me you guys did that? Sun Rong, while devouring his food, asked, did what? At that moment, Mu Wei received a text from his mom, how's the taste of the little rabbit? Surprise! Mom was also at the Wow Wow supermarket. Next time, bring that little rabbit who stole your dignity home to meet Mom. When the big lion saw the text message, he felt his blood rush to his head, his face turning red. What? Mom is there too? The family actually knows. Wait, so this means... The big lion's mind started envisioning the scene of him and the little rabbit holding a wedding. Just thinking about such a beautiful scene made the big lion's heart almost leap out of his throat. No, calm down, it's still too early. Back to Qiuming comic. After Lu Wei and Sun Rong left, the little rabbit planned to wash the dishes, but the big lion took over the task. I'll do it. That's just how it is at my place. That's how it is at my house. My mom handles the cooking, and the little bunny laughs, my house is the same, it seems many couples do this. Instantly, the little bunny's face turns red again, and he waves his hands frantically, couples? That's not what I meant. We can be friends too. Anyway, let's wash the dishes together. The kitchen falls into an awkward silence, and the little bunny feels very complicated. Pull yourself together. It's just a kiss. Why can't I calm down? Mu Wei must think I'm weird. But this feeling is more like that of a married couple. With this thought, he immediately feels ashamed. What am I thinking? In his distraction, a plate slips from his hands and breaks with a crack. Sorry, I didn't hold it steady. The little bunny bends down to pick up the pieces, but Mu Wei reaches out first. Are you okay? Let me do it. Be careful not to cut yourself. Their hands touch again, and both the little bunny and the big lion's faces turn red, and their hearts start to race. The little bunny faintly realizes he might have fallen for Mu Wei. At night, Sun Rong stared wide-eyed, guarding against Lu Wei. Lu Wei tossed and turned, Sun Rong wouldn't let him hold her, and he couldn't sleep at all. So, he simply reached out and asked Sun Rong for her tail. Sun Rong fiercely protected her tail and wouldn't give it to Lu Wei. Meanwhile, Mu Wei and Zeely both suffered from insomnia. Mu Wei began worrying about the comics, the Qiushi comics. If the little rabbit knew his thoughts, she would definitely be scared, the Manhua Qiuming comics. Little Zeely kept recalling the words her father had advised her, darling, our family isn't that particular. Just go after whoever you like. Just make sure not to choose someone from the top of the food chain. Zeely felt she was about to disappoint her parents' expectations. I'm sorry, Dad, I think I've fallen for the big lion at the top of the food chain. Both of them had their own concerns, but they really wanted to sleep closer to each other. It was as if they had a tacit understanding. They both turned over at the same time, facing each other, but neither dared to open their eyes. Breathing in each other's breath, they unknowingly fell into a deep sleep. The big lion's little fanboy went to great lengths to help the lion pursue the little bunny. The big lion and the little bunny went to class together. On the way, they encountered the big lion's little fanboys. As soon as the little fanboys saw them, they excitedly shouted, "Good afternoon, boss and sister-in-law." Zeely was stunned. Was sister-in-law referring to her? Mu Wei unceremoniously took the three little ones away quickly. Then, out of Zeely's sight, he fiercely scolded the three little ones. Who told you to call her sister-in-law? You can't call her that. She's not sister-in-law yet. She knows nothing. Don't mess things up for me, got it? The three little ones were a bit disappointed. So, the boss hasn't won her over yet. Looks like we need to help the boss out. It started to rain suddenly after school. Luckily, the teaching building provided umbrellas. The three little ones seized the opportunity and rushed forward, grabbing all the umbrellas. In the end, there was only one umbrella left. Mu-wei secretly praised them, well done. The two shared an umbrella, walking shoulder to shoulder, leisurely in the rain. The three little ones lived up to their reputation as great wingmen. The next day, the big lion and the little bunny went to the cafeteria for lunch. The three little ones specifically reserved the couple seats for the two of them. Zeely just came out of the shower in the dormitory, and saw that the three little ones had sent him several bashful yet handsome photos of the big lion, making Zeely's face flush and his heart race. That day, the three little ones were playing basketball, and Zeely sneaked over to find them. He sheepishly said, "I seem to be seeing you guys around a lot lately." The three little ones were equally embarrassed. Really? Must be a coincidence, haha. Zeely uncertainly said, "You guys wouldn't happen to be." The three little ones thought their matchmaking of Little Bunny and the boss had been discovered and were about to make excuses when Zeely laughed and said, "Are you guys trying to be friends with me?" The three little ones were taken aback, and then nodded repeatedly in agreement. Bailey breathed a sigh of relief. "I thought so. No wonder your actions were so strange. I was worried that people had quickly noticed my crush on the big lion." "It's all good, a false alarm." He then reassured the three little ones, "We can play basketball together in the future. I'm actually learning with Mu-wei. Let's play together once I've learned." This suddenly gave the three little ones a way to get close to the sister-in-law. "We can teach you now." The little rabbit gladly agreed, thinking that it would be great and would give little leopard a fright when they returned. 15 minutes later, the little rabbit's ball skills amazed the three little ones. These skills were way better than theirs, and the little rabbit didn't even think their ball skills were that good, still smiling at the three little ones. The three little ones liked their sister-in-law more and more. Behind a big tree on the court, a lion's head appeared. Lu-wei frowned and stared at the three little ones. "Alright, you three actually hang out with Zeely behind my back." The next day, the three little ones were assigned by the big lion to clean the entire cafeteria. The three little ones were dejected. "Bao Cho, did we offend the boss? His attitude towards us is off today. Could it be that he thinks we're working too slowly? We need to step it up in the future." The big lion actually pulled out the little rabbit's tail, and was surprised to find that the little rabbit's tail was so long. The little rabbit blushed for the first time, glaring fiercely at the big lion. The big lion hurriedly let go. Sorry, I just thought it was tucked in there and..." The big lion was so embarrassed he couldn't continue. "Who wants to?" the little bunny said in a low voice, "that I want to tug on your tail." The big lion paused, then turned around with a blushing face, holding up his tail for the little rabbit to touch. The little rabbit touched his tail, feeling how hard it was. The sensitive tail being caressed by the bunny made the big lion's face turn so red it looked like it was about to drip blood. His patience had reached its limit, and he could only cover his mouth tightly. Meanwhile, Sun Rong was changing clothes, just as Lu Wei walked over. Suddenly, Lu Wei was surprised to find that Sun Rong's NK actually had buttons. Sun Rong noticed Lu Wei staring intently at his pants and instantly jumped far away, awkwardly explaining that he had a rather large tail, so this was more convenient. Upon hearing this, Lu Wei started to get bad ideas. "Wearing pants is so troublesome for you, how about I help you?" Sun Rong, annoyed and embarrassed, refused. But Lu Wei wouldn't miss such an opportunity and directly grabbed Sun Rong's tail, kneading the big tail without letting go, no matter how much Sun Rong protested or resisted. Lu Wei rubbed Sun Rong's tail and muttered to herself, "No wonder you always dress behind my back. This is so much fun." Sun Rong was still struggling. "Lu Wei, have you had enough? How are you so strong? Are you really weak or just pretending?" Lu Wei then remembered that she still had to play the role of a weak and pitiful herbivore in front of Sun Rong. She finally let go of the tail and gave a very lame excuse, "Maybe we herbivores are naturally reserved." And that scene was witnessed by Mu Wei and Bai Li. Mu Wei and Bai Li caught the scene perfectly. "Sorry to interrupt you, but if you don't leave now, you will be late for class," Lu Wei said awkwardly. "Okay, right away." Sun Rong pitifully protected his crumpled tail and quickly distanced himself from Lu Wei. "Still playing as a couple, huh?" Sun Rong gave Lu Wei a red rope as a Christmas gift, not knowing what it was. Sun Rong shamelessly said, "This is the rein Santa Claus uses to drive his sleigh. I think it suits you. I had to look for a long time to find it." Sun Rong, we've lived together for so long, don't you know by now that I am an antelope, not a reindeer? And how do you even use this? Is it like this? Lu Wei directly put the rope around Sun Rong's neck. He sat on Sun Rong, simulating a driving scene. Sun Rong cried out, I was wrong. Please let me go. Meanwhile, the big lion was hiding in the bathroom, hand-carving a Christmas gift for the little rabbit. But it seems our big lion is not suited to be a sculptor. He had started secretly carving half a month in advance, but it still wasn't to his satisfaction. While the big lion was focused on carving, Zeely woke up without him noticing and quietly stood outside the door. Seeing the big lion still preparing a gift for him in the middle of the night, Zeely was deeply moved. Seeing the big lion suddenly get up, the little rabbit quickly burrowed under the covers and pretended to be asleep. The big lion intended to place the gift on the little rabbit's nightstand. But the nightstand was so cluttered that it was hard to find a spot. The little rabbit, feeling the big lion above moving around, felt it was getting harder to keep pretending to be asleep. The big lion struggled for quite a while but finally managed to place the gift. The little rabbit yawned, thinking about waking up. But in the end, feeling too shy to open its eyes, it continued to pretend to be asleep. The big lion gently adjusted the little rabbit's blanket. Then, lying next to the little rabbit, the big lion also went to sleep. Early the next morning, the little rabbit opened its eyes to see the big lion, not knowing how long it had been lying beside the bed. Merry Christmas, the lion blurted out. Blushing, the big lion said, Quick, check your nightstand. The little rabbit turned its head and saw a bulging stocking. Taking out the gift from the stocking and looking at it, it turned out to be a pair of earrings. The little rabbit holds the lion-shaped earring joyfully, immensely happy. The big lion is a bit shy and also a bit clumsy, having scratched his face while cracking nuts. The little rabbit doesn't mind at all. That's great, now you look just like me. Don't you also have a scar on your forehead? I really like it. Thank you, Mu Wei, please help me put it on. Feeling a bit embarrassed, the little rabbit turns around, letting the big lion put on the lion-shaped earring. After putting on the earring, the little rabbit shyly takes out a red scarf he knitted himself for the big lion. The big lion holds the scarf and gently sniffs it, loving the scent. It smells just like Bai Li. During the exam, the big lion can only think about his moments with the little rabbit, and as a result, his score dramatically drops from 100 to 62. The class teacher, furious at the decline in his performance, wants the big lion to move out of the mixed dorm. The big lion can't bear to be separated from the little rabbit and hurriedly explains he was not feeling well during the exam and didn't perform well. It definitely won't be a problem next time. The class teacher is skeptical but eventually gives him another chance with a retest. The little rabbit felt very guilty. If it was really his own fault that caused the big lion's grades to drop, then his responsibility would be too great. He held the big lion's hand. Mu Wei, I'll help you with tutoring. Let's work hard together, the retake exam will definitely be no problem. The big lion was stunned for a moment, then nodded confidently. Neither of them wanted to move out of the mixed dormitory, so with their joint efforts, Mu Wei redid the test paper and scored 96 points. The little rabbit leaned in very close to explain the mistakes to him. Mu Wei found that the feeling of tutoring was actually quite nice. He asked the little rabbit to sit down and explain to him. Upon hearing sit down, she subconsciously wanted to sit on the big lion. The big lion's face turned red and his heart raced, but in the next second, the little rabbit suddenly realized and turned to bring a chair. The big lion's plan fell through. He could only secretly wipe away tears in his heart. While explaining the questions, the little rabbit's ear accidentally brushed against the big lion, making the big lion shiver all over. Watching the little bunny scratch her ear, the big lion was instantly melted by the little rabbit's cuteness. The little rabbit turned back and was surprised. Eh? Mu Wei, why is your face so red? The big lion hurriedly covered his face. It's nothing. The little rabbit looked incredulous. You're not going to tell me that just now, as the lion's stomach rumbled loudly. The little rabbit chuckled. So you're hungry? I thought you were sick. Wait here, I'll get you some dessert. You do your task first. The lion felt his blood boil, thinking, it's all over, I can't continue, while on the other hand, Sun Rong's hand sneaked towards the game console while doing homework. Lu Wei snatched the game console with a laugh. Which one do you want to play? I'll play it for you. Sun Rong, feeling dejected, lay down on the table. Just let me play around first. Lu Wei, with his legs crossed, threatened, from now on, every time you slack off, I delete one of your saves. Sun Rong knelt down with a thump, pleading, don't hurt him, I'll do it. You're really a devil, so beautiful yet so harsh, unlike gentle Lu Wei. Lu Wei made Sun Rong finish his homework and then review the exam papers again. Sun Rong almost cried, why do I have to review? I improved in this exam, and the teacher didn't even scold me. Lu Wei tapped on his forehead, you did improve, but you scored 36. Just because the teacher didn't scold you doesn't mean you don't have to retake it. Sun Rong had no strength to argue. The little bunny confessed to the big lion, I am very happy to be with you. The little bunny felt very guilty because the big lion's grades dropped. He also guessed that it was because he kissed the big lion on the day of the exam that caused the big lion to fail. Seeing the little bunny feeling down, the big lion quickly comforted him, saying it was just a coincidence and not his fault. The little bunny held the big lion's hand, heart pounding, and said, Mue, I don't want to have a bad influence on you, nor do I want you to regret being by my side. The big lion felt regretful. He blamed himself for not doing well in the exam, causing the little bunny to feel so guilty. The little bunny suddenly raised his head and firmly said, I am very happy to be with you. Meanwhile, Lu Wei was also trying various ways to improve Sun Rong's grades, watching Sun Rong sleep soundly. He came up with a new trick and tapped Song Rong on the shoulder. Song Rong woke up instantly and defensively blurted out, I was solving problems, I wasn't distracted. Lu Wei took out his favorite game console and said, if you finish 10 questions in 1 hour, I'll tell you the secret to beating the game. Song Rong's eyes lit up instantly. Lu Wei flicked his forehead and continued to tempt him, if you score 60 on the makeup exam, I'll take you to the arcade for an hour. For every extra 5 minutes, you can add another hour. Song Rong was instantly spirited and agreed, deal. Then Song Rong quickly started working on the questions. Lu Wei felt a bit reluctant, realizing that he wasn't as important as video games in Song Rong's heart. On the day of the makeup exam, Bai Li and Lu Wei were both very nervous. They went to a restaurant together. An orange cat approached Bai Li and asked why Lu Wei hadn't come. The orange cat, named Peng Fei and a suitor of Mu Wei, handed Bai Li a love letter. He shyly said that he didn't dare to give it to Mu Wei himself and asked him to pass it on. Before Bai Li could even respond, Peng Fei was ready to leave. Seeing this, Lu Wei stuck out his foot to stop him. Bai Li gave the love letter back to him, sorry, I can't help you. Actually, Mu Wei isn't scary at all. Why don't you give it to him yourself? Zili felt that if he handed it over on their behalf, it would be like he was personally matching them together. That was absolutely unacceptable. Peng Fei, who was instantly rejected, became furious. If you don't want to help, then don't. Who cares? Bai Li watched Peng Fei's angry back as he left and glanced at Lu Wei. He knew Lu Wei. Lu Wei said indifferently, just a middle school classmate, nothing special. Don't take it to heart. I've encountered many instances of people asking me to pass love letters to Mu Wei. Every time, Mu Wei would directly give them a rejection set, no, it's impossible between us. Give up. Bai Li didn't expect Mu Wei to have such a side. Should he be glad or light a candle? Suddenly, he wondered if Mu Wei was refraining from dating out of consideration for him, his roommate. The little bunny thought the big lion was embarrassed to date because of him, his roommate. But Lu Wei directly shattered his fantasy, saying that the big lion had been rejecting girls since he was young and mentioning that Mu Wei was quite narcissistic. Young Lu Wei had encountered a wounded and pitiful Mu Wei near his home. Hi, didn't you bring your keys? Mu Wei looked up in confusion. My parents are working late today. Lu Wei pointed to his house, why don't you go to my house first? But who would have thought that Mu Wei suddenly scrambled up from the ground and said fiercely, no way. Lu Wei was shocked. Why? Mu Wei said arrogantly, you have feelings for me, right? I'm not interested in girls. Give it up. Lu Wei was stunned. He actually called himself a girl. Mu Wei kept on nagging, although I don't know how you followed me home, please stop doing this. Finally, Lu Wei exploded in silence. He grabbed Mu Wei by the collar and beat him up, saying, I'm your neighbor. Zilai burst into laughter after hearing this story. I didn't expect Mu Wei to be like this as a kid, right? Such a narcissist. What are you talking about? How did it get to me being narcissistic? Suddenly, Disher Z appeared behind the two. Zilai turned around in surprise. Mu Wei, how did you guys do on the exam? Disher Z excitedly grabbed Xiao Mian Z's hand, full marks. We can continue living together now. At this moment, Sun Rong also rushed to Lu Wei. Lu Wei, guess how much I scored? Chicho, guess quickly. Sun Rong couldn't wait to show him the test paper, 87 points. Lu Wei was shocked. Normally scoring only 30 or 40 points, she didn't expect to score so high this time. Sun Rong clung to Lu Wei's shoulders, laughing broadly, you said there'd be a reward for doing well, right? 6 free hours at the gaming arcade, remember? No backing out. Meanwhile, Little Rabbit wanted to celebrate Big Lion's success too. She asked him what he wanted to eat that evening. Blushing, Big Lion said, I want to eat the molten lava cake you made last time. Peng Fei, the orange cat watching secretly from the shadows, was green with envy. He never expected Mu Wei to show such an expression. He himself had confessed to Mu Wei countless times during their 3 years in junior high, but Mu Wei would only respond with his standard 3 rejections. No way. We're impossible. Give it up. He would dismiss himself. For 3 years, Mu Wei was so cold he couldn't even remember his own name. But now, Mu Wei smiles at Zili, considerately helping her carry her bag. Even waiting for Bai Li to come back, he'd shake his tail happily, smiling with his eyes forming crescents. Back in Xiaoming, Peng Fei, undeterred, planned to make another attempt while Zili was away. But unexpectedly, the first thing Mu Wei said was, "You're that silly guy from junior high who hung out with us, right? What was your name again?" Peng Fei was petrified. At that moment, Little Rabbit returned. The two left happily, leaving Peng Fei alone in chaos. Suddenly Peng Fei's phone rang. "Hello? Who is this?" A foolish voice came from the other side. "Peng Xiaomao, my suspension is almost over. Look forward to my return." Ha ha ha. Even a little rabbit can bite when cornered. Peng Fei always thought about splitting up the little rabbit and the big lion. There he goes again, sending a fierce big grey wolf, Manhua, to bully Zili. But Zili, having spent time with the big lion, had no fear of carnivores. Instead, he noticed the scars on the wolf's ankle. "It seems your foot is in a bad shape. I have some ointment here for you." Faced with such a kind rabbit, the big grey wolf instantly wore a friendly face, scratched his head in embarrassment, and reached out for the ointment. Peng Fei, hiding around the corner, was anxious and whispered, "What are you doing? Be more fierce." Reminded by this, the big grey wolf instantly turned back into a fierce creature and slapped the ointment from the little rabbit's hand. Just then, the big lion suddenly appeared, glaring fiercely at the big grey wolf. No noise in the corridor. "Do you have a problem?" The fierce big grey wolf was instantly scared into a tame little kitty. Peng Fei's first plan failed, but he wasn't ready to give up. He initiated Plan B, aiming to isolate the little bunny. He set his sights on the loyal little fanboys of the big lion. However, as soon as Peng Fei mentioned the little bunny, the 3 fanboys got excited. "You mean the boss's wife? He's great at basketball." Thus, Peng Fei's Plan B failed. Just as Peng Fei was sulking, suddenly 3 fierce carnivores blocked her way. It seemed like Peng Fei was about to be bullied by the 3 predators. The little bunny appeared just in time. "Let her go." The predators thought, "What is this silly bunny doing? Does a herbivore plan to be a hero?" They didn't take the bunny seriously and intended to forcibly take Peng Fei away. Intending to forcibly take Peng Fei away, Xiao Mianzi bravely rushed up, and fiercely bit a carnivore's hand, then quickly ran off dragging Peng Fei. Xiao Mianzi, being a running expert, soon disappeared with Peng Fei. The 3 carnivores, unwilling to give up, turned to leave when they found Xiao Mianzi had dropped their phone, which was now ringing. The caller ID showed it was Big Lion, Mu Wei. The 3 carnivores were instantly scared witless, hurriedly handed the phone to the security, and fled as if escaping. Meanwhile, Xiao Mianzi realized they had lost their phone, and Peng Fei thought behind them, it was like finding a treasure in a hopeless place, to be alone with Xiao Mianzi. He was about to scare Xiao Mianzi, but suddenly noticed the scratch marks on Xiao Mianzi's nose, definitely injured while saving him. Peng Fei instantly felt guilty. The little rabbit quickly comforted Peng Fei, saying it didn't hurt at all and not to worry. Peng Fei took out his phone, asking Xiao Mianzi to call Big Lion to take revenge for them. However, Xiao Mianzi insisted on calling the police. Upon hearing this, Peng Fei was so shocked that he jumped up. He himself was a habitual offender of fighting and brawling, and knew he couldn't escape if the police came. Calling the police is unnecessary. Just get Brother Mu Wei to come out, he's very strong. Little Rabbit firmly refused. No, he actually doesn't like fighting. I don't want him to get involved with dangerous forces. Suddenly, Little Rabbit grabbed Peng Fei's hand. "Don't worry, don't be afraid, I'm with you." Peng Fei felt a warm surge in his heart and stuttered, "Thank you, thank you." Meanwhile, Big Lion couldn't get through to Little Rabbit's phone, and when he rushed back to the dorm, he didn't see Little Rabbit either. Big Lion panicked, feeling as if a nightmare was happening again. He had lost Little Rabbit once more. Unexpectedly, Little Rabbit's phone wallpaper was like that. But then, Big Lion had to join the search party for Little Rabbit again today. Big Lion couldn't get in touch with Little Rabbit at all. He rushed back to the dorm and didn't see Little Rabbit there either. He called Lu Wei, who was playing games with Sun Rong in the game city and wasn't with Little Rabbit. Lu Wei could hear the anxiety and helplessness in Mu Wei's voice over the phone. Grabbing Sun Rong to go back and help, Sun Rong protested, saying it wasn't time yet. Lu Wei replied irritably, "Your skills are so poor, you've lost all the money. I just got a call, Zili is missing, and your boss Mu Wei is going crazy. We have to go help." The two of them ran into a dejected big lion at the school gate. Just then, the security uncle shouted for Mu Wei to come over. Mu Wei walked over confused. "Seeing you so anxious, are you looking for this?" The security guard held up a phone to show him. The phone's lock screen was an embarrassing photo of Big Lion. Everyone immediately recognized it as Zile's phone. But Zile isn't the type to misplace his phone randomly. Something must have happened. Mu Wei became even more anxious. Zile had disappeared after leaving the supermarket. He needed to go to the supermarket to check the surveillance footage, but just as he took a few steps, someone blocked his way. How can a person just disappear? Isn't my return more important? Ha ha. The one who appeared was Big Lion's nemesis, Silly Link Xianglong. Big Lion glanced at him. "I was wondering why I've had such bad luck recently." "So, you're back." He ignored Silly and walked past him. Silly Link snorted coldly. That arrogant attitude, as expected from my destined rival. Since elementary school, they had been evenly matched. Big Lion was the fastest runner. While Silly Lynx was third from last in academics, Big Lion was second in the grade. Silly Lynx always believed they were destined to have a showdown. But as the class monitor, Mu Wei ignored his provocation and reminded him that today was Monday, and he should be wearing his school uniform. Until now, the Silly Lynx was still thinking about having a man-to-man duel with the Big Lion. There's no time like the present, today a winner must be decided. Just as the Silly Lynx was grinning foolishly, he heard the Big Lion's voice, almost in tears, saying excitedly, "Bailey, you finally showed up, I was so worried." It turned out to be Zile who had returned. "Sorry, Mu Wei, for making you worry." The two of them happily discussed what to eat when they got back. Peng Fei on the side was almost overwhelmed by the nauseatingly sweet atmosphere between the two. Meanwhile, the Silly Lynx was completely confused. Why would Mu Wei show such an expression? Lu Wei explained to him that although Mu Wei was indeed arrogant and cold before, he is now in love. At this moment, Peng Fei began his performance. "We were kidnapped by some strange carnivores and they did all sorts of things to us, it was so scary." Mu Wei instantly tensed up upon hearing this and gave the little bunny a thorough check. "Are you okay? Did you get hurt anywhere?" The little rabbit quickly said, I'm fine, Peng Fei was just joking." The Big Lion hugged the little rabbit, his eyes brimming with tears. "Zile, I will never let you be alone again. Actually, those people came to find the Silly Lynx for a fight." Peng Fei knew that if the Silly Lynx heard about a fight, he would definitely rush to it eagerly. No, the Silly Lynx has just resumed classes, we can't let him cause any more trouble." So he kept the matter hidden. At this moment, Sun Rong whispers to Lu Wei, "You should also be careful recently. Let me know where you are going, I'll accompany you." Lu Wei is overjoyed. Is Sun Rong worried about her? When the little rabbit takes a bath, the Big Lion insists on guarding the door. How afraid is the Big Lion of the little rabbit disappearing again? While Bai Li is preparing dinner, Mu Wei is beside him peeling garlic. Mu Wei is coughing nonstop and tearing up from the garlic, no matter how Bai Li persuades him to wait outside. But the Big Lion stubbornly refuses to leave, insisting on helping out. Suddenly, Bai Li realizes that since Mu Wei returned, he has been inseparably guarding her. He must have been frightened by her sudden disappearance. She doesn't know how to explain to Mu Wei, so she decides to let it be for now, as she does not dislike Mu Wei's closeness anyway. The little rabbit makes rice balls and meatballs to thank Lu Wei and Sun Rong for helping Mu Wei find her. Sun Rong drools over the buns. Meanwhile, Lu Wei, seeing the Big Lion holding tightly onto the little rabbit's clothes, is deep in thought. It seems Lu Wei is really scared this time. After saying goodbye to Lu Wei and Sun Rong, the Big Lion led the little rabbit back to his dormitory. The little rabbit went to take a shower, so the Big Lion waited outside the bathroom door, resting his chin in his hand, thinking that this can't go on, there must be some way to always have power when seeing him in person. Maybe give him a tracker, like the little genius watch. As an advertisement phrase popped into his head, Mom won't have to worry about me getting lost anymore. No, that wouldn't work, it would be just like a cell phone, there's still a chance of losing it. If only the whole world knew that he is under my protection. Suddenly, a brilliant idea flashed through his mind. Meanwhile, in the dorm room of the orange cat Peng Fei and the silly Xiang Long, a jingling sound rang out as things flew chaotically around the room. Peng Fei was too exasperated to complain. Xiang Long, are you tidying up or demolishing the place? After a moment, wiping the sweat off his forehead, he said, finally done cleaning. Just as he was about to go find Mu Wei to settle a score, Peng Fei stopped him. Didn't anyone tell you he's not living in the carnivore dorms anymore? The naive clouded leopard asked in astonishment. What? What's happening? Upon learning that the Big Lion had moved to a mixed dorm and class, The naive one reluctantly asked Ping Fei where the mixed class was. Peng Fei replied listlessly, "It's just ahead." They now have their own separate mixed class. He muttered to himself, "If it weren't for waiting on you, I would have also signed up with a buddy for the mixed class." The naive clouded leopard scoffed, "Cut it out. I don't want to live with herbivores." As they were talking, they encountered the big lion alone under a tree, sneaking around, apparently up to something. The big lion had actually marked the little rabbit, finally making the little hare his own. The naive clouded leopard looked on as the big lion, sitting under the tree, threading a needle, appeared utterly shocked. "What are you doing?" Without looking up, the big lion replied, "I'm waiting for Zeely to come out so we can go back to the dorm together." Dumb clouded leopard looks disdainful. "We're not elementary school kids who need to hold hands everywhere, right? Plus, that's not what I asked. What are you doing embroidering with a needle? This is for Zeely. Don't disturb me, I need to finish it quickly as it's urgent." Big Lion looks very satisfied with his own creation. Dumb guest doesn't understand why the gift doll also needs to be hugged by PG. Ping Fei was amused by Big Straight Man. "What you're referring to should be a heart." Ping Fei reminds Big Lion it's time to finish the stitch. Who would have thought Big Lion would cut off a tuft of his own hair and stuff it into the doll? This move directly dumbfounded both Ping Fei and Dumb Clouded Leopard. Dumb Clouded Leopard incredulously asks Ping Fei if he just stuffed his own hair in there. Ping Fei nods. What kind of magic ritual is this? Probably wants to leave his scent. Indeed, couples do such things as if leaving a mark. Dumb Clouded Leopard exclaims how childish it is, while Peng Fei is a bit envious. Just then, Little Bunny comes over. Big Lion hides the lion doll behind him and wags his tail at Little Bunny. "Let's go back to the dorm, I have a gift for you." So, Little Bunny naturally loops her arm through Big Lion's arm and they head to the dorm together. After they leave, Dumb Clouded Leopard snaps back to reality and shouts at Peng Fei, "Don't you like Mu-Wei? How can you bear this?" Peng Fei retorts, "Mind your own business. Can't I get used to it?" Meanwhile, Little Bunny puts on the lion pendant that Big Lion gave her. As soon as they saw Zeely at the restaurant, the carnivores around started whispering among themselves. The little rabbit was puzzled, feeling like all the carnivores were staring at his pendant. He took it off and sniffed it, but couldn't smell anything. He was confused. Lu Wei smiled at him, "You should ask the person who gave you the pendant about the smell. Only carnivores can recognize it." Sun Rong also chimed in, "It's obvious though, Big Brother's scent is super strong. Your pendant must have." Sun Rong hadn't finished speaking when the big lion interrupted him with his chopsticks on Sun Rong's face, quickly grabbing the microphone. "There's nothing, carnivores are just too timid and sensitive." But this made the little rabbit more convinced that the pendant had been tampered with. However, it didn't matter much as he didn't dislike it. It was the first time he saw such a tough side of Sun Rong. "No one can bully Lu Wei, he's under my protection." Seeing that the big lion had marked the little rabbit, Sun Rong was thrilled and wanted to mark Lu Wei too, letting everyone know that Lu Wei was under his protection. Hearing this, Lu Wei felt a surge of emotion. This guy still remembers that protective setup, but he still arrogantly pushed Sun Rong away. "Your reputation isn't intimidating enough. If I really needed that, I would have looked for other carnivores a long time ago." Sun Rong suddenly stood up and shouted, "No way," then clung tightly to Lu Wei's arm. "If my reputation isn't loud enough, then I'll just follow you around all day like before." "But you can't go to other carnivores. Not even Big Brother." As Sun Rong rolled his eyes at Mu Wei, he thought to himself, wishful thinking. "I'll only mark my little bunny." Lu Wei overheard Sun Rong's inner thoughts and immediately covered his slightly reddened cheeks. This guy is saying such misleading things again. Is he serious or not? Lu Wei shook his arms, trying to shake off Sun Rong, but Sun Rong wouldn't let go. All right, I get it. Just let go first. Look at the situation, say these things back in the dorm. On the side, Peng Fei was eating snacks with a face full of excitement. Could Sun Rong and Lu Wei be in that kind of relationship? As they left the cafeteria, Sun Rong started inviting Lu Wei to play games. Lu Wei looked at him with a face full of resentment. Did he forget about leaving his scent so quickly? Under the dormitory building, they ran into Sha again, who had come to pick a fight with Mu Wei. Sun Rong made a face at him and warned him not to keep bothering the big brother. Sha grabbed Lu Wei by the shoulder and mocked him for living with Sun Rong. Lu Wei slapped his hand away and gave him a look that said, "It's none of your business." At that moment, Sun Rong instantly flared up. Let him go. What kind of skill is it to bully someone who can't fight? If you want to fight, come at me. Sha was stunned. Bully someone who can't fight? He laughed so hard that tears were streaming down his face. Ha ha ha, I'm bullying him? Ha ha ha, Sha laughed. Lu Wei called out with a sarcastic smile, Xiang Long. Sha's real name was Xiang Long. Xiang Long was so scared that he couldn't laugh anymore. He pointed at Sun Rong in disbelief and exclaimed, could it be that he still doesn't know? The words following were directly swallowed back under the cold, self-illuminating gaze of Lu Wei. The silly lynx eventually patted his shoulder, I won't tell him then. You dark-hearted overlord, I get it, don't worry. Suddenly, Peng Fei jumped out of the bushes, hee, I knew there was something special between Lu Wei and Sun Rong. Just as I expected. Sun Rong and Lu Wei were startled by the sudden appearance of Peng Fei, who threw them a knowing, flirtatious glance, don't worry, I won't spread the word. Then he hurriedly chased after the silly lynx. The silly lynx is really too funny. But it's this very funny silly lynx that made the little bunny jealous. The silly lynx provokes the big lion every day, challenging him to a duel. The big lion couldn't be bothered with him, leaving with the little bunny. The silly lynx huffed, you think ignoring me every time will work? He suddenly grabbed the scarf around the big lion's neck and ran off, catch me if you can. Even the little bunny was stunned. The little rabbit was dumbfounded, realizing that the seemingly majestic lynx was actually so childish. Mu Wei foolishly chased after him, yelling, give me back my scarf. That's the Christmas present Shirley gave me. In the cafeteria, the foolish lynx, with a tray piled with a mountain of food, banged it on the big lion's head, taunting, I eat more than you. You only eat these and still call yourself a carnivore? In the middle of the night, the foolish lynx called Mu Wei, waking up Bai Li. Yet, the lynx still shouted on the phone, hey, why did you just pick up? Are you asleep? If not, let's play a game. Let's have a match. Mu Wei, furious, hung up and turned off his phone. The little rabbit gradually sensed a crisis. Unexpectedly, compared to Peng Fei, who liked Mu Wei, it was this lynx who was more likely to steal Mu Wei away. He angrily slammed the tray down on the table and suddenly realized Mu Wei had gone out to buy a drink and hadn't come back yet. Could he have been tripped up by the foolish lynx again? Indeed, he checked his phone and saw a message from Mu Wei saying he was caught by the foolish lynx again. He went to play basketball and would be back soon after a quick game. Bai Li's anger surged. It was too much bullying. It was fine for Mu Wei to want to play basketball, but why was this lynx always forcing him? Bai Li stormed to the basketball court, only to see the foolish lynx chasing after the big lion, unwillingly shouting, it's not fair to win and then run. Let's have another game. The big lion walked towards the dormitory, annoyed, aren't you a bother? I still need to go back to eat. Bai Li is waiting for me. The foolish lynx disdainfully said, go back to eat grass, huh? Can't your little friend wait? It's just a little rabbit. Upon hearing that, the big lion was about to explode. He was about to turn around and deal with that guy when suddenly someone beat him to it and spoke up, hey, why do you speak so rudely? Bailey stepped forward and confronted the foolish lynx directly. It turns out when the little rabbit gets handsome, the big lion is out of the picture. The little rabbit actually took on the foolish lynx. Because the foolish lynx was always pestering the big lion day and night, the little rabbit was worried that the big lion would be taken away. At the same time, he wanted to vent for the big lion, so he decided to challenge the foolish lynx to a basketball game. Best 2 out of 3 games. If he loses, he must never come to bother Mu Wei again. The foolish lynx let out a ruthless laugh. Such a foolish and naive hare, so a 2-on-2 duel began. Bailey pulled Mu Wei aside with a hint of jealousy. You don't happen to be obsessed with challenging the lynx one-on-one, do you? Mu Wei immediately denied having any obsession, saying it was the foolish lynx who was obsessed. Bailey felt much better and decided then to let Mu Wei pass him the ball later. Mu Wei looked at Zili, who was determined to win, and couldn't help blushing. It was the first time he had seen such an expression on Zili. But the petty Zili was also quite cute. Silly lynx, I really owe you one. On the court, the silly lynx kept chasing Mu Wei, but he didn't even touch the ball. Mu Wei took a jump shot. The silly lynx was about to intercept, but unexpectedly, Mu Wei suddenly threw the ball downwards, and the silly lynx was stunned again. The ball actually landed directly in Zili's hands. Next was Zili's time to amaze everyone with his performance. His jumping ability and precise shooting left the silly lynx dumbfounded. At this moment, the big lion and the little hare were high-fiving to celebrate. The silly lynx, not willing to accept defeat, shouted at Mu Wei, what are you doing? How could you let a herbivore help? Where is your pride as a carnivore? The little hare's competitive spirit was also aroused, and he directly shouted at the silly lynx, not satisfied? Let's keep going. This time, Zili directly snatched the ball from the silly lynx and then leaped like flying. Once again, he precisely shot the ball into the basket. It was really cool, even the big lion was mesmerized. The dumb lynx lost the match, but still defiantly shouted at the big lion, do you really not want to face me head-on? The little bunny, disgusted by anyone speaking ill of his big lion, retorted. You can't even beat a little bunny, what makes you think you can fight a lion? The dumb lynx was left speechless by the comeback. Pang Fei finally understood. Brother Mu Wei was deliberately holding back to let the little bunny vent his anger. Moreover, with the little bunny taking the lead, Wen the fool couldn't make excuses as he did before. Truly, Brother Mu Wei is remarkable. But looking at his own companion, he was at a loss for words. Seeing the dumb lynx about to cause trouble again and charge at Mu Wei, Pang Fei stepped forward, grabbed his arm, and started to soothe him. Come on, let's call it a day. The dumb lynx kept yelling, how can it end like this? I just underestimated him. Pang Fei dragged him back, saying, alright, I know you admire Brother Mu Wei. You'll have another chance. The dumb lynx roared, admire? I hate him. Watching the dumb lynx being dragged away while screeching, the little bunny felt great and pulled the big lion along. Let's go home too. I've already prepared dinner, just waiting for you. The big lion, with a face full of happiness, said, let's go. The little bunny was awkwardly trying to grab its wet tail, planning to dry it with a hairdryer. Just then, the big lion came out of the bathroom and saw the scene, which instantly melted his heart. Too cute. He blushed, walked over and said, let me help you. The little rabbit felt a bit shy, hesitated for a moment, but still handed the hairdryer to the big lion, then turned around. The lion carefully started drying the rabbit's tail. He felt delighted inside, wondering if this counted as a historic progress. It didn't take long to dry the tail. The little rabbit turned his head and looked at his fluffy tail with satisfaction. The big lion, seeing the adorable tail, immediately wanted to touch it. The little rabbit blushed and whispered, you can touch it, you can touch it. With permission, the big lion reached out his paw towards the little bunny's tail. Suddenly, a series of crackling noises made them both shudder. It turned out to be static electricity. The little rabbit's tail poofed up into a small ball. He sighed, I really hate winter. But if I'm like this, Sun Rong must be having an even worse disaster. As expected, Lu Wei nearly lifted Sun Rong up to give him a good clean-up when he saw the room full of fur. He yanked away Sun Rong's blanket. Your shedding is everywhere. Clean it up right now. But Sun Rong, addicted to his game, didn't take Lu Wei's words to heart at all. Frustrated, Lu Wei went straight for his tail. You're still shedding after cleaning up? It's endless. Are you Sun Wukong or what? Suddenly, there was a loud ah, and Sun Rong's tail instantly puffed up into a ball. Sun Rong yelled and sprung up, looking at his exploded tail, extremely aggrieved. What did you do to make it like this? What did you do to end up like this? It will take a long time to recover. Suddenly, that already fluffy tail exploded with a pop. Sun Rong immediately broke down in tears. Lu Wei, it's all your fault. See what you can do about it. Lu Wei just rolled his eyes. Unable to stand it at night, Lu Wei couldn't bear Sun Rong's tail, which could explode at any moment. She kicked Sun Rong off the bed. I was sleeping well. Why did you move me? Shut up, you cactus. The next day, Lu Wei asked Zili if there was any anti-static spray left. Zili, embarrassed, said it had all been used up the night before. Look who I found. The big lion was afraid the little bunny would be taken away. So he secretly followed the little bunny and ended up being discovered by her. The big lion and the little bunny were eagerly looking forward to the sports day that had finally arrived. The lion was fantasizing about the close three-legged race, walking arm in arm with the bunny. But to their disappointment, the teacher announced that carnivores and herbivores must compete separately. Both the big lion and the little bunny lost interest upon hearing this news. Both were extremely disappointed when Manan from the herbivores came looking for Xiao Mianzi. He put his arm around Xiao Mianzi's shoulders and walked out of the classroom. Big Lion was instantly furious. His hand on Little Fan's shoulder tightened suddenly, crushing poor Little Fan's bones. Manan had come to invite Zilai to join the herbivore sports meet, mentioning that they were short of people and would surely lose to the carnivores if Zilai didn't participate. Bailey sighed, pushed Manan's hand away, and said, "You're being too sly." The big lion, watching secretly, was instantly furious again. Where did that brat come from? Not only is he touching others, but he also dares to morally kidnap. At that moment, several herbivores cheered and surrounded Zilai, welcoming him to join their team at the sports meet, but Zilai waved his hand saying he hadn't decided yet. Manan once again put his arm around Zilai, saying it was no problem. The other herbivores also said, "Let those irrational and barbaric carnivores see what we are capable of." Unable to bear it any longer, Zilai pushed Manan away and retorted loudly, "Don't say that about them. They aren't all muscle-brained or barbaric. Even though some carnivores may be, most really aren't." The bunny specifically mentioned the silly lynx. Suddenly, in the corner of the bunny's eye, an alarm was raised. Hiding behind a tree was a familiar figure, the big lion, Bailey, puzzled in his heart. Wasn't he supposed to go and talk about the carnivore's sports event? Why is he here? He apologized to Manon and the others, saying that he would not participate in the herbivore sports event and then turned to run towards the tree where the big lion was hiding. Look who I found! The bunny suddenly appeared, breaking the big lion's defenses in an instant. He hugged the bunny tightly, whispering softly, "It's okay if you don't participate, I'll be with you." I also refused the carnivore's side. The bunny hugged him back, having guessed early on that the big lion would not participate. Suddenly, the bunny came up with a plan. He took the big lion's hand and said, "Since it's like this, let's give it a shot and suggest to the teacher to let the mixed class pair up." The big lion nodded in agreement. Thus, the two mustered up the courage to find the class teacher, who very much agreed with their idea. The teacher even tasked them with gathering the mixed class's intentions for the sports event. Finally, the big lion and the little bunny got to participate in the sports event together, as they wished. Now they can participate in all sorts of intimate competitions together. The little rabbit put her hand into the big lion's pocket. This move excited the big lion greatly, his heart almost leaping out of his chest. The big lion and the little rabbit participated in a 100-meter relay race. The big lion dashed out swiftly, moving as fast as a rocket. He handed the relay baton to the little rabbit, and their hands touched again inadvertently. Mu-Wei was momentarily stunned, lamenting how short-lived happiness was. The little rabbit passed the baton to Ank. Ank took the baton and was about to accelerate but immediately fell down with a thud. A young lady behind the little rabbit panicked and rushed over, helping Ank up and nervously checking if she was injured. Zeely was horrified to see that Ank had a nosebleed. Tissue, tissue. The little rabbit remembered she had stuffed a pack of tissues into the big lion's pocket. Without thinking, she directly put her hand into the big lion's pocket. The big lion was so excited that his soul almost left his body, and his heart nearly jumped out of his throat. The little rabbit took out the tissues and handed them to Ank, while the big lion was already in a dazed state. On the other side, Lu Wei and Sun Rong's relay race is about to start, but Lu Wei finds that Sun Rong is nowhere to be seen. How can this be? He came specifically to join the relay race for Sun Rong. Sun Rong has always wanted to participate in a relay race, but he worries that his slow running will affect the team's performance. Lu Wei pinches his face and comforts him, saying, "What are you afraid of? I run fast. I will make up for any distance you fall behind. That way, there won't be any problem," and even promises to help him win the championship. When the big lion hears this, he immediately signed up Lu Wei for all the men's events. Lu Wei is speechless, this guy is really pushing him to the limit. Mu Wei jokes, "You said it yourself. For the sake of the best candidate to win the championship, Sun Rong, work hard." But at this moment, Lu Wei can't even find Sun Rong. Suddenly, he sees a big fluffy tail in the bushes. "So, this is where you are." He grabs the tail, asking, "What are you doing in the bushes?" But unexpectedly, he pulls out a squirrel. "Hey, Lu Wei, what kind of behavior is this?" The serpent-like Shihan glares at Lu Wei angrily. "Sorry, I mistook you for someone else." The squirrel scurries behind Shihan. Shihan shields the squirrel and leaves, grumbling. "Oh ho, so catching someone else's tail." Sun Rong popped out of nowhere, looking furious, accusing Lu Wei, "Humph, now I know." "Then what's with you catching my tail all the time?" Lu Wei, annoyed, grabbed Sun Rong's ear, "Learned a new phrase and you're just throwing it around. Let's go, hurry up and train." Sun Rong actually took the initiative to hug Lu Wei, which excited Lu Wei immensely. Lu Wei mistook a little squirrel for Sun Rong, and lifted it by its big tail. This really angered that snake. Really, tails should not be touched randomly. Lu Wei was holding Sun Rong by the ear, cursing that snake in his heart. "I've already apologized." Such a petty man. The little squirrel was soothing an irate Yuhan, all right, I'm fine." Lu Wei didn't do it on purpose. Yuhan still wouldn't let it go. "I don't care. I want a hug." The little squirrel was stunned. The little squirrel was shocked. "Here?" Yuhan nodded heavily. The little squirrel could not outwit the cunning Yuhan. Tiptoeing, it pecked at the person's face. Lu Wei and Sun Rong were both stunned, not expecting their relationship to be like this. Suddenly, Sun Rong clapped his hands. "I get it now. This must be a kind of reward, right? The kind where you kiss on the cheek in the West." Then, he suddenly thought of Lu Wei. For participating in all the men's competitions for me, he must be very tired. Should I also reward Lu Wei? Suddenly, he grabbed Lu Wei's hand and whispered, "Do you want a kiss?" Lu Wei leaned in and blurted out, "Yes." Watching Sun Rong getting closer, Lu Wei suddenly snapped back to reality and pushed Sun Rong away. What am I doing? This is Sun Rong we're talking about. His idea of a kiss can't possibly be normal. No, no. Whether it's a normal kiss or not, I shouldn't have agreed so directly. While Lu Wei was battling with his sense of reason, Sun Rong went ahead and pecked Lu Wei on the cheek. Lu Wei froze instantly, but Sun Rong just kept on smiling innocently. I knew you'd be very tired managing so many projects. Keep it up. He reached out to high-five Lu Wei. Lu Wei's face cracked upon hearing this. Does Sun Rong even know what QG represents? He let out a long sigh. He reluctantly high-fived Sun Rong and then walked forward weakly. Sun Rong jogged behind him. What's wrong? Are you tired? The big lion accidentally witnessed that scene just now and was shocked. The little rabbit noticed the big lion's unusual tension and asked nervously, Lu Wei, what's wrong? When the big lion turned and saw the little rabbit, he remembered the scene of Sun Rong and Lu Wei. He quickly tried to calm himself down. They just rubbed faces, no big deal. Bailey and I have already kissed, and on the lips too. The little rabbit stared at the big lion in confusion. The big lion's gaze inadvertently fell on the little rabbit's lips, and his face instantly turned red with embarrassment. He hurriedly took the registration form from the little rabbit to change the topic. Everything else is fine, but the men's 3,000 meters. What's the matter? Can't run it? The big lion sighed again. It's not that I can't run it, it just makes me think of some troublesome things, so I'm a bit conflicted. Huh, Mu Wei, so you're here. Mu Wei looked disgustedly at the foolish clouded leopard, moaning, trouble really comes when you say it, because his mouth was still tasting Bailey. The lion burst into unprecedented strength on the field. The foolish clouded leopard provoked Mu Wei again, asking if he had registered for the 3,000-meter race, while the little rabbit was worried that the big lion would be taken away by the foolish clouded leopard. Furiously glaring at the foolish clouded leopard, he declared, of course I registered. Anyway, what's it to you? The foolish clouded leopard pointed at Mu Wei and burst into laughter. Oh, you don't know? This guy only runs long distance and has never beaten me. The little rabbit was particularly annoyed, upset when someone spoke about his big lion, thinking back, that means besides long distance running, you're inferior to him in everything else. The foolish clouded leopard was instantly furious, shouting at Mu Wei, hey Mu Wei, stop always hiding behind others. Can't you compete on your own? 3,000 meters, will you race or not? Just race, don't think you can always brag about this. Bailey also strongly agreed, saying, it's okay, Mu Wei, I'll practice long-distance running with you. Seeing that these two didn't even consider themselves, the foolish clouded leopard was gritting his teeth in anger. With Bailey accompanying Mu Wei for the long run, it turned out that Mu Wei's stamina was impressively good, making Bailey admire him as they took a break in the middle of the field. Then, they saw a girl running with a wet handkerchief in her mouth. The little rabbit said to the big lion, I heard that if you keep a wet handkerchief in your mouth while running, you won't get a dry mouth. Mu Wei, I brought a new handkerchief. Do you want to try it? Just as the big lion was about to refuse, the little rabbit directly stuffed the wet handkerchief into the big lion's mouth. The big lion instantly felt overjoyed, with his mouth full of Zeely's scent. He felt full of energy, maybe he really needed this. He dashed off with unprecedented speed. The little rabbit was stunned, holding the timer in his hand. Mu Wei actually broke the record. Just then, Sun Rong came running, gasping for breath. Ming Ming, Zeely, I can't find Lu Wei. Sun Rong was so anxious that she burst into tears. Lu Wei hadn't returned all night and his phone was off. Zeely and Mu Wei were also shocked. Zeely tried to comfort the distraught Sun Rong. Don't worry, don't worry. Did something happen to Lu Wei yesterday? Sun Rong hung her head and muttered, I don't know. He was fine yesterday. After running, he said he wanted to rest. He left the track and never came back. The big lion suddenly remembered what happened on the track yesterday when Sun Rong kissed Lu Wei. He secretly told the little rabbit, who looked surprised. Could it be that Lu Wei disappeared the whole night because of a love affair? Because Sun Rong kissed Lu Wei, he just disappeared for the entire night. Sun Rong was panic-stricken. Could Lu Wei be in trouble? Even the big lion couldn't bear to tell him. Who would dare to trouble Lu Wei? It's good enough that he doesn't trouble others. Zeelian comforted him, telling him not to worry and that they would help him look for her. But how could Sun Rong not be worried? His mind was filled with images of Lu Wei being bullied. He was almost worried to death. In a secluded alley, Bao Qiuming ferociously beat up several naive carnivores until their faces were swollen and blue, and those pitiful creatures knelt down begging for mercy. Lu Wei coldly spat out a word, scram. These carnivores with short-circuited brains, always acting before thinking, were really unlucky. But why did he happen to fall for Sun Rong, this silly carnivore? He couldn't explain why, but having not seen him for a night, he found himself missing him. Early in the morning, Lu Wei returned to school and realized his phone had been off. Upon turning it on, he saw countless missed calls from Sun Rong, and numerous texts from Sun Rong. Did this fool not sleep all night? Suddenly, he heard the loud voice of the foolish lynx. You're annoying, do you know what time it is? Just by my door. Lu Wei looked up and saw the foolish lynx roaring as he lifted Sun Rong into the air. Why are you looking for Lu Wei here? He wouldn't come to find me. Sun Rong was struggling and screaming in the hands of the foolish lynx. I know he won't come looking for you, but you should know where he is. Sun Rong's thought process is like this, little Rong's thought process is like this. Lu Wei didn't come home. Lu Wei must have been bullied. It must have been the carnivores. The lynx is the most formidable one among the carnivores, and the lynx is the leader. The lynx must know where Lu Wei is. But how could the foolish lynx understand Sun Rong's peculiar line of thought? He only knew that Sun Rong had disturbed his pleasant dream early in the morning. He wished he could tear him to pieces. Why would I know Lu Wei's whereabouts? Besides, is there any need for you to worry about him? The foolish lynx thought of that troublemaking demon king. The silly lynx, at the mere thought of that demon king, felt a bit scared himself. Who could bully him? He was about to reveal Lu Wei's true nature to Sun Rong when suddenly a rock hit him hard on the head. Just as the lynx was about to go mad, he turned his head and saw Lu Wei staring at him from not far away. Oh, what a coincidence. What are you guys doing here? The lynx glared viciously at Lu Wei. Coincidence, my foot. Did you two plan this to gang up on me? Lu Wei's gaze was sharp, locking on him as if warning, if you dare tell Sun Rong, I'll wipe you out. Lu Wei. Upon seeing Lu Wei, Sun Rong was thrilled and rushed over to him. Lu Wei opened his arms for a hug, but instead of a hug, he was greeted with a heavy punch. Sun Rong charged and punched Lu Wei on the head. You brat, dare to hit me? Lu Wei looked up angrily at Sun Rong, only to see Sun Rong with a tearful and aggrieved face. Where did you go? Not coming back all night. Don't you know people worry? You didn't even answer your phone. Sun Rong's crying practically melted Lu Wei's heart. He nervously said, was my phone out of battery? He took a deep breath, don't worry, don't worry. Sun Rong looks pretty when he cries. No, I need to bluff my way through this first. So, he started to make up a serious lie. I went to an internet cafe to play, got dragged by teammates to raid, you know? It wouldn't be good to leave halfway and let them down. Meanwhile, the lynx sneered internally, thinking Sun Rong would never believe it. But unexpectedly, Sun Rong, the fool, did believe it and even approvingly said, that's true. Can't let down your teammates during a raid. But next time, remember to tell me in advance. Got it? Lu Wei pulled the person into his arms. From now on, I'll always report to you. Let's go, catch up on some sleep. This fool, well, let him be a fool. So Lu Wei embraced his beloved little fool and walked towards the dormitory. The foolish lynx was petrified on the spot. So what does this have to do with me? The big lion and the little rabbit were alone in a room. The atmosphere was incredibly awkward. The big lion thought the opportunity was rare and he had to do something about it. However, what the big lion did next was truly surprising. Because of the little rabbit's appearance, the big lion overtook the foolish lynx in the 3,000-meter race. He won the championship. But the big lion, who wasn't originally good at long-distance running, collapsed in exhaustion as soon as he crossed the finish line. Are you okay? The little rabbit rushed over in a panic. Unexpectedly, the big lion grabbed the little rabbit's wrist and pulled him towards himself, smiling foolishly, Zeely, I won. The little rabbit praised, you're awesome. Suddenly, the big lion noticed a trace of blood oozing from the little rabbit's forehead. He suddenly sat up and asked nervously, how did you get hurt? You're bleeding. The wound was caused earlier when the little rabbit hurriedly came to cheer for the big lion. Because of running too fast, I bumped into a pillar, leaving a mark. The little rabbit shook its head, it's okay. Just accidentally hit it a bit. But before the words fell, the big lion had already hugged the little rabbit. The little rabbit's heart immediately started pounding. Why does a bump on the forehead result in a princess carry? So sweet, but so shy. The big lion carried the little rabbit to the infirmary, but there was no one there. Then the big lion carefully placed the little rabbit on the bed. Wait for me, I'll get you some medicine. The little rabbit sat on the bed apprehensively, waiting for the big lion to apply the medicine. All done, the big lion placed a bandage on the little rabbit's forehead. But the little rabbit wanted to spend more time alone with the big lion, to create more opportunities for itself. So, holding its forehead, it staggered and said, "I didn't feel it when I was rushing just now, but now that I sit down, I feel a bit dizzy. Maybe I should sit for a while before leaving." At this time, the big lion was ecstatic inside, finally having some alone time. But, the atmosphere seemed a bit awkward. If only I could be shameless like Lu Wei, it thought. The big lion cheered itself on internally, this rare opportunity must not be wasted. What should I do? Suddenly, it grabbed the little rabbit's hand, anticipating what the big lion would do next. But, after a long time, the big lion couldn't utter a single word. After waiting for a while, the big lion finally managed to say, "Let me wipe your sweat." "That's it? Big lion, I am disappointed in you." Sun Rong actually said that Lu Wei is not a man. Sun Rong ran to Lu Wei out of breath and apologized profusely. "I'm sorry, I'm late." Lu Wei retorted angrily, "I've already finished my 3,000-meter race, and you're just getting here." Sun Rong scratched his head embarrassingly and joked, "If I had come on time to cheer for you, you might have been first." Lu Wei patted his head, "I think you have a point. Let's see your performance in the 1,500-meter race." Actually, Lu Wei was quite happy inside. Sun Rong finally wasn't talking non-stop about his brother Mu Wei. But what Lu Wei never expected was that the next second Sun Rong blurted out, "Big brother got first place." As expected of him, ha ha ha. Lu Wei was so angry he almost squeezed Sun Rong's head. With the sound of the starter pistol, the 1,500-meter race began. Lu Wei gave it his all but still couldn't outrun the dumb dog who was far ahead. Lu Wei started to get anxious. At this rate, he was definitely going to lose. Where is that little fool Sun Rong who promised to cheer for me? Why isn't he saying anything? Just then, Sun Rong's voice finally rang out loudly, "Lu Wei, charge. Can you do it or not? If you lose, you're not a man. Charge." The nearby spectators were covering their mouths and chuckling, passing the word around, "Lu Wei is not a man." Lu Wei was really frustrated. What kind of love is this? Sun Rong, just you wait till tonight. He saw the dumb dog about to cross the finish line and take first place. "Hey, dumb dog." At that moment, Peng Fei took out a megaphone and shouted. The dumb deer stopped just as he was about to cross the finish line. He turned around to see who was calling him. Like the wind, Lu Wei dashed across the finish line. Although not very honorably, he still got first place. Peng Fei quickly threw the loudspeaker used for the crime to Sun Rong. In front of the foolish ocelot, he firmly denied that he was the one shouting earlier. Lu Wei snatched the loudspeaker from Sun Rong's hand and threw it away. Then, he embraced Sun Rong, thinking that Sun Rong had helped him win the championship, feeling immensely pleased. He suddenly wanted to be alone with Sun Rong, so he took Sun Rong to the infirmary. However, just as the door was pushed open, they saw Mu Wei and Bai Li in the midst of something. The atmosphere instantly became silent.
Lu Wei and Sun Rong accidentally interrupted the lion and the little rabbit's good time, and the straightforward Sun Rong nervously asked, "Bai Li, why are you in the infirmary? Are you hurt?" Bai Li hastily waved his hand. Bai Li was so embarrassed that his mind went blank. Where was he hurt again? Oh right, the forehead, just a bump. What about you? Why are you in the infirmary? Sun Rong answered without thinking, "We're here to slack off." Ha ha ha. At this moment, Lu Wei and Mu Wei were engaged in an intense staring contest. Lu Wei, hands on hips, communicated with his eyes to Mu Wei, saying, "It's such a waste to leave this place to you two alone. It would be better for me. By the way, have you made any progress?" The lion defiantly glared back, "You, who disappears for a whole night after just one drink, have the nerve to ask me." Lu Wei was surprised. How did he know Sun Rong poured a drink for him? Ding ding ding, the preparation bell for the relay race rang. Bai Li raised his watch in front of everyone. The relay race is about to start. We should go. Lu Wei and Mu Wei quickly wrapped things up. Alone time passes so quickly. But truly, the handsome Lu Wei and Mu Wei are a stunning sight wherever they go, causing countless fanboys and fangirls to scream. Meanwhile, Sun Rong nervously clutched his chest, thinking he was the slowest runner. If they didn't win first place, it would definitely be because of him. Bai Li comforted him, saying, "Don't be nervous. Didn't Lu Wei say he would make up for your lagging speed?" Lu Wei, who heard the conversation clearly, flashed a reassuring smile. This idiot actually knows how to be nervous. However, the one feeling quite down at this moment is the big lion, Mu Wei, because the order of the relay race has Bai Li first, Sun Rong second, and Lu Wei fourth. The big lion turns around in loneliness, unable to see Bai Li rushing towards him. It's such a pity. Just then, Peng Fei is knocked down and plunges straight towards the ground. Mu Wei, quick as a flash, reaches out with his left hand to catch him. A crisp crack is heard, and a look of pain flashes across Mu Wei's face. Peng Fei turns around, his eyes lighting up. It's actually Big Brother Mu Wei. Thank you, Big Brother Mu Wei. Is your hand okay? I thought I heard a crack. The big lion pretends nothing happened, turns his back, and strides away. Remember to stay away from the track. Peng Fei's eyes shine as he watches Mu Wei's retreating figure. He's so cool. Wait, my boss is also running the third leg. I'm going to cheer for my boss. We're on the way. Peng Fei wags his tail and follows. If the little rabbit saw this scene, she would definitely be jealous. Sun Rong even tied up his big tail, really going all out to win the race. The opponents see this funny scene and almost laugh themselves breathless. But Lu Wei doesn't find it funny at all, even asking before the race if it wasn't uncomfortable. Sun Rong shakes his head with a smile. It's very easy. Lu Wei thinks to himself, what a fool. But tying it up does indeed make him much faster than before. Still, despite trying his best, Sun Rong is far behind. He quickly passes the relay baton to Mu Wei. Mu Wei is truly Mu Wei, instantly regaining the lead and leaving the foolish lynx far behind. The foolish lynx howls in frustration. Damn it, lost again. As a teammate, the cheetah takes the relay baton from the foolish lynx, feeling quite depressed. Bro, don't be like this. I haven't even run yet, and we've already lost. The critical final leg, a major showdown between the cheetah and Lu Wei. Lu Wei sees the cheetah about to overtake him, then suddenly hears Sun Rong shouting, Lu Wei, you can do it. Lu Wei instantly feels a surge of power. He takes the lead and sprints across the finish line. Sun Rong, excited, throws herself into his arms. Lu Wei, patting her head, says, indeed, the power of love is mighty. Too bad she's a bit silly. Meanwhile, the little rabbit is also ready to embrace the big lion warmly. But suddenly, the little squirrel, Mao Chu, sends an urgent message, help, Zi Li. Hurry, hurry, Zi Li is torn. Should he wait and hug the big lion before leaving? Such a good opportunity might never come again. Just then, Mao Chu sends another message. Upon seeing it, Zi Li realizes it's so urgent that it's garbled. It seems Mao Chu is in a critically urgent situation. Sorry, Mu Wei. Although he was reluctant, he turned around and ran to find Mao Chu. At this moment, the big lion looked at his injured wrist. He was extremely happy inside since he could go to the infirmary with Bai Li again. But the next second, he received a message from Bai Li saying he had to leave for an urgent matter. The big lion's little plan was instantly thwarted, and he cried his heart out. At this time, Peng Fei came over with a medical kit intending to help Mu Wei bandage his wound. Mu Wei initially wanted to refuse, but considering Peng Fei's good intentions, he agreed. Suddenly, some unfriendly herbivores appeared in front of them. It turns out they came to settle scores with Peng Fei because he had said, hey, dumb dog. This directly made the dumb dog stop in the middle of a long-distance race and lose the first place. Peng Fei was speechless, saying they were too petty to still hold grudges over this. The dumb dog's brother thought Peng Fei was making fun of the herbivores and making his brother lose first place, which made him very upset. Mu Wei shielded Peng Fei behind him. It does sound like it was his fault. I will make him apologize, but if you plan to solve this with violence, I won't agree. Peng Fei looked at Mu Wei gratefully, but Mu Wei's next sentence broke Peng Fei's heart. If your total score really loses, and you want revenge outside school, I won't care. Having said that, the dumb deer stepped in to mediate. We are just here to warn you, don't do this in the upcoming events, little Peng Fei. At this moment, Peng Fei couldn't listen anymore. He was crying in his heart, realizing he couldn't get any favoritism from brother Mu Wei. Unlike the silly lynx, who would probably rush forward, shouting, picking on me. Looking for a fight? Come on, who's afraid? The lioness came looking for the little rabbit. The moment she saw the little rabbit, she joyfully held the rabbit's hands, exclaiming, oh my, it's you, little rabbit? Bai Li asked in surprise, do you know me? Unexpectedly, the lioness bombarded Bai Li with a series of questions, leaving him speechless. Little rabbit, do you have a boyfriend? How far have you two progressed? The lioness kept asking more enthusiastically. Looking at you up close, you're really cute, the lioness said, almost drooling. Little rabbit, do you want to come home with me? Faced with such enthusiasm from the lioness, Bai Li didn't know how to respond. But then he spotted his savior from the corner of his eye. Mu Wei, over here. The little rabbit quickly waved at the big lion not far away, and at the moment when the big lion and the lioness locked eyes, the big lion was shocked and sprinted towards the little rabbit with the speed of a 100-meter dash, and when the little rabbit looked back. At this moment, Mother Lion is hiding behind the tree, because her dear son warned her not to come to the school sports day. My rebellious child has broken my heart. The little rabbit curiously asked the big lion why he rushed over so quickly. The big lion scratched his head and explained, "I just smelled something suspicious." The little rabbit's gaze suddenly fell on the freshly bandaged wound on his wrist, and he said anxiously, "You're hurt." "It's nothing serious, but should we go to the medical room?" The big lion wanted to go to the medical room alone with the little rabbit to cultivate their relationship, but the little rabbit reminded him that his wound was already bandaged. The big lion reluctantly put away his little thoughts, and the two of them held hands and walked together to the sports field. On the third day after the winter sports day, they were walking in the snow together. The big lion asked the little rabbit if he was going home for winter break. The little rabbit said his home was far away, and he wasn't going back this year, so he'd stay in the dormitory for the winter. The big lion laughed and said, "What a coincidence, I'm not going back either. There's no one at my home, so it doesn't matter if I go back or not. I'll stay at school with you." They exchanged smiles and then watched the snow together. Suddenly, the big lion sneezed loudly, and while the little rabbit was worried, the big lion had already run into the snow. Suddenly, the big lion slipped and almost fell. The little rabbit quickly grabbed the lion's hand. "Slow down, you might slip." The lion held the rabbit's hand. "Zeely, your hands are so cold." Then he breathed on the rabbit's hands. "How about that? Does it feel warmer?" The rabbit was stunned for a moment, then blushed and nodded. The lion hugged the rabbit tightly, afraid that she would get cold. Suddenly, a snowball flew straight towards them, hitting the lion square on the head. The lion's head uncontrollably leaned forward, directly capturing the rabbit. Both the lion and the rabbit turned fierce. Not only did they turn Lu Wei into a snowball, but they also threw snowballs into Sun Rong's clothes. In the end, they even planned to carry Sun Rong and bury him in the snow. The rabbit and the lion had a great time in the snow. Lu Wei, this great assist, threw a snowball directly at the lion's head. The lion's head leaned forward and, caught off guard, captured the rabbit. The big lion, infuriated, battles it out with another for 300 rounds. Sun Rong pretends not to recognize these childish clowns and quietly walks away from them. He sits next to the little rabbit and passes the milk tea originally prepared for Lu Wei to Zeely. Then he tucks his hands into his own big tail and starts complaining, "I really don't get what's so fun about this cold." They act as if they've never seen snow before, like little kids. Over here, the two little ones are having a blast. The big lion turns Lu Wei's entire body into a snowball, with only his antlers poking out. When Lu Wei breaks free, he unceremoniously shoves the big lion's head into the snow, causing numerous snow clusters to splash around as they playfully fight. Sun Rong and Zeely, standing nearby, inadvertently become snowmen. Sun Rong is really at a loss for words. At this moment, Lu Wei proves to be surprisingly strong, not to mention yesterday he insisted I open a bottle for him. The little rabbit bursts out laughing at this. Sun Rong is really quite naive, even believing what Lu Wei says. The two of them shake their bodies, shedding the snow off themselves. The little rabbit, worried, yells at the frolicking duo, "Aren't you two playing a bit too?" Before he can finish, a snowball thrown by Lu Wei hits him right in the face. The snowball was meant for Mu Wei, but he dodges quickly, and the poor little rabbit behind him takes the hit. The big lion, furious, shouts, "Damn it, Lu Wei, you have no honor." If that's how it is. Then the big lion pinched a snowball fiercely and whoosh, stuffed it directly into Sun Rong's clothes, making Sun Rong scream from the cold. The big lion got angry, Lu Wei felt terribly bad, and the little rabbit turned evil. Sun Rong ascended to heaven. The big lion and the little rabbit reached out their evil claws towards Sun Rong. Lu Wei shouted loudly, "Sun Rong, be careful." While Sun Rong was shivering from the cold, suddenly he was lifted high up. "Ah, what are you doing?" The big lion and the little rabbit directly buried Sun Rong in the snow. Poor Sun Rong, only his big tail was still visible on the surface. After dealing with Sun Rong, the two evil ones started attacking Lu Wei. Sun Rong does not like Lu Wei, he likes a girl. What he doesn't know is that girl is actually Lu Wei. Lu Wei accidentally hit the little rabbit. As a result, the big lion and the little rabbit took revenge on Lu Wei by burying Sun Rong in the snow. After pulling him out, Lu Wei pulled him out, and Sun Rong's clothes got wet from the snow. He said concernedly, "My house is nearby. Let's go there to dry our clothes before continuing." So, Lu Wei led the group to her house. Sun Rong walked excitedly at the front. "This is the place. I used to come here often. A friend of mine lived here during elementary school. I used to come here to play a lot." Lu Wei agreed with a smile. "Indeed, there are many schools around here." Lu Wei and the big lion are neighbors. As the big lion passed his own house, he silently told himself, don't see. We mustn't let mom and dad see the little rabbit." However, Lion Dad and Lion Mom happened to see their son with the little rabbit through the glass window. The two were so excited. Finally, they arrived at Lu Wei's house. Sun Rong curiously observed a photo wall. Lu Wei said that his parents are travel photographers and are often out and about. They don't even know where they're playing right now. Sun Rong wondered if he usually stays home alone. But before he finished speaking, a towel was thrown over his head. Lu Wei ordered, "Hurry and change out of your wet clothes. Aren't you cold? Quickly dry off. And here's an extra towel to dry your tail. Don't leave fur everywhere," Lu Wei said as he went to find pajamas for them. He told Sun Rong and Zi Li to wait a bit, plainly stating they could only wear his childhood pajamas. Zi Li and Sun Rong were exasperated. "Lu Wei, you're too much." After changing into pajamas, Sun Rong laughed while feeling the cute pajamas on him. "Ha ha ha, Lu Wei, your old clothes are adorable." The big lion casually replied, "That's my mom's taste." At this moment, Lu Wei took out the photos his parents took and shared them with everyone. The little rabbit laughed, "Your parents are really in love." But Sun Rong was puzzled, "Why aren't there any photos of you?" Lu Wei shrugged and said he was just an accident. Suddenly, Sun Rong noticed a photo of a little girl on the wall. He had a deep impression of that little girl. The promise he made to that little girl years ago is still fresh in his memory. "Don't worry, even though I'm quite short now, the teacher said I'll be tall when I grow up. By then, I can protect you. Wait for me." "Are you waiting for me?" Lu Wei, is this your sister?" He held the photo anxiously wanting to know the answer. Lu Wei took the photo and was speechless at once, while the big lion beside laughed heartily. Sun Rong was still inquiring, "So, is this your older or younger sister?" Lu Wei felt frustrated, having specifically not taken out her own photo album, not expecting there to be an oversight on the wall. She had no choice but to nod reluctantly. "Yes, this is my younger sister." Sun Rong began to inquire more. "How old is she? What's her name?" Lu Wei was bewildered by the questions. "Why do you need to know so clearly? It's none of your business." Sun Rong immediately responded seriously, "How can it be none of my business? I have an agreement with him. I want to be your attacker, but you have to call me brother." It must be said, Lu Wei and Sun Rong, this pair of sub-CPs, are really great to ship. Lu Wei, as a child, looked very much like a cute little girl. As a result, right after moving to a new home, she was pestered by several carnivorous animals. Just then, Sun Rong happened to pass by, couldn't stand it, and roared, directly standing in front of Lu Wei. "Hey, how can you bully herbivorous animals? The teacher said we have to protect them." However, the thin and small him was directly picked up by the older classmates like picking up a little chick. "You only know about the teacher. Where does this shorty come from? Bullying you, what can you do to us?" Who would have thought that Sun Rong would not be afraid at all, still reasoning with them, saying this is not right, you can't bully herbivores. Just then, Lu Wei drove back. With anger on his face, he yelled at the group of senior students, "I don't want to play with you, and you can't bully me. Just go away now." The senior students seemed to be intimidated by Lu Wei's aura. They turned and ran away while driving Lu Wei's fierce and ugly vehicle. Lu Wei let out a breath and disdainfully said, "Cut, carnivores are indeed dumb and immature." Sun Rong looked at Lu Wei with admiration. He couldn't believe that a girl like Lu Wei could make those troublesome senior students leave obediently with just one sentence. Lu Wei gave him a glance and said, "Sorry, I'm not the weak herbivore you imagine." But in Sun Rong's eyes, Lu Wei was really too beautiful and too cute. He was completely mesmerized and couldn't help but blush a little. "You just looked super cool, really very cute." Lu Wei suddenly froze. "Cute?" He glared at Sun Rong angrily. "Who are you calling cute?" But Sun Rong didn't realize at all the rising anger in Lu Wei and still cheerfully said, "Don't worry, although I'm small now, the teacher said I will grow taller. Then, I can protect you. Just wait for me." Listening to this, Lu Wei was speechless. Who needs your protection? Back to reality, the grown-up Sun Rong was at Lu Wei's house. "I found a photo of Lu Wei when she was a child." Sun Rong hadn't reacted yet. "That is Lu Wei, the goddess I promised to protect when I was a child. Unexpectedly, it's your sister. It's really destiny, brother." Lu Wei was completely shaken by that term, brother. Sun Rong kept asking incessantly, "Does my goddess have a boyfriend now? What kind of things does she like? Does she like to eat cake?" Lu Wei couldn't stand it anymore. "Shut up, I don't know." The big lion next to her almost laughed so hard he couldn't breathe, whispering into the little rabbit's ear, "Actually, that photo is what Lu Wei looked like as a child." "What?" The little rabbit became excited upon hearing this news. Sun Rong looked back, puzzled by the little rabbit's startled reaction. The big lion quickly covered the little rabbit's mouth. "Ha ha ha, nothing happened at all." Meanwhile, Lu Wei's gaze was sharp as a knife, as if to say, "If you dare tell Sun Rong, I will definitely finish you off." So Lu Wei was this cute as a child. No wonder Sun Rong couldn't stop thinking about her. But Sun Rong did not recognize that it was actually Lu Wei. He thought that must be Lu Wei's sister. Lu Wei was truly frustrated to death. Her own rival turned out to be herself. Kiki is still guaranteeing like a fool. Although I've met your sister once, my longing for her is like the endless waters of the Yangtze, and my feelings overflow like the Yellow River, beyond control. He keeps rubbing against Lu Wei, so will you give me your sister's contact? Don't you trust my character? I won't bully her. Lu Wei couldn't be bothered with him anymore. While pouring tea for Zili and Mu Wei, Sun Rong laid weakly on the table and said, "Pour some for me too. My throat is so dry from all the talking." Lu Wei, frustrated, said, "Then talk less." Just then, Da Shizi sent a message to Lu Wei, asking if he should explain things to Sun Rong. Lu Wei glared fiercely at Da Shizi. "No need for you, I'll do it myself." He patted Sun Rong on the shoulder. "Come with me for a moment." Lu Wei took Sun Rong into his own bedroom, and Mu Wei and Zili peeked in eagerly. Lu Wei then slammed the door shut. "Don't eavesdrop." He took out his bottom drawer album and handed it to Sun Rong. Sun Rong took the album, laughing like a simpleton. "Ha ha ha, I wanted to see this for so long. You never showed it to me. Do you have some dark history? I'm going to have a good laugh at you." Lu Wei was speechless, hoping Sun Rong would still be as happy after finishing it. As Sun Rong flipped through the album, he laughed uncontrollably. "Ah, so many little goddesses. The little goddess is so pretty. Lu Wei, why are you not here?" Lu Wei gathered his courage, pointing at the little goddess Sun Rong kept praising. "This is me. This was me when I was 5. My mom liked girls, so she bought me lots of fancy clothes. This was me when I first started elementary school. My mom toned it down a bit, but it was still pretty androgynous. This was when I first moved here and took a photo with Mu Wei. In short, there's no little goddess, those were all me. Whether it's the people you met before or the one you promised to protect, it's all me. I don't have any sisters." Sun Rong's expression was as if he had been struck by lightning. He was so shocked that he couldn't close his mouth. Lu Wei continued to shock him. "When I was a kid, I was often mistaken for a girl. It was so embarrassing that I never dared to admit it. I'm sorry for the misunderstanding all these years." Sun Rong was completely dumbfounded. Suddenly, he thought of something. No, he has no horns. Don't think I'm foolish. I know that only female antelopes don't grow horns. Lu Wei, with a flushed face, pointed at the photo. "Who said they aren't there? They just weren't obvious because they just started growing. You see," he directly smacked the album onto Sun Rong's face. "Boys only start to slowly grow horns when they're in elementary school, and as they grow, the shape changes too. Did you not pay attention in elementary school?" Sun Rong was devastated on the spot. "So, this is really you?" "Yeah, Mu Wei is just outside. If you don't believe me, go ask him." Sun Rong opened the door with the last hope. "Big brother, is this Lu Wei next to you?" Lu Wei nodded with a suppressed smile. Sun Rong was petrified on the spot. The little bunny is going to the big lion's house to play. Look how excited the lion's mom is. The big lion teased Lu Wei for looking like a girl when he was young. The sly antelope retaliated immediately, suggesting everyone go to Mu Wei's house to see his childhood photos. Zili and Sun Rong are full of anticipation. The big lion is on the verge of tears. "My parents are at home right now. Zili will definitely be scared by my mom." But seeing Zili's pitiful and crafty look, the big lion's heart was touched again. He couldn't bear to refuse anymore. Zili and Sun Rong instantly burst into laughter. Sun Rong even shouted loudly, "Yay, going to Big Brother's house." Lu Wei was full of jealousy. What's this fool so excited about? But at least it made him forget about the little goddess. Upon arriving at the big lion's house, Lu Wei skillfully went to get the big lion's photo album, fearing the lion had hidden something. The lion was angry. "How do you know where it's kept?" Lu Wei didn't care and directly handed the funniest album to Little Rabbit and Sun Rong. The two of them widened their eyes in surprise. The big lion felt terrible, while Lu Wei continued to explain, "This is Mu Wei in a school play. Playing a big tree." Little Rabbit admired, "Wow, Mu Wei was so cute." Sun Rong laughed loudly. Big brother didn't seem willing at all, huh? The album showed a picture of the lion falling flat on his face. Lu Wei continued, "This was when Mu Wei's parents took us ice skating. And this is when he couldn't climb down a tree. I called Auntie and instead, she mocked him and took this embarrassing photo." Little Rabbit giggled non-stop. Sun Rong laughed so hard tears streamed down. "Haha, so Big Brother was cute too." Lu Wei's jealousy flared up inside. "You brat, you didn't say I was cute when looking at my album." Meanwhile, the big lion's embarrassing moments were all exposed by Lu Wei. He was so furious he almost exploded. "Lu Wei, you jerk. Wait until Bai Li isn't here, I'll get you." "Over there," Zili suddenly lamented. "I feel it's such a pity not to have been part of Mu Wei's past. I'm a bit envious that Lu Wei grew up with him." At this time, in the bedroom, Lion Mom and Lion Dad were lying by the door, listening intently to the commotion outside. Lion Mom was excited. Did you hear that? Little Rabbit seems very happy. Just a moment ago, the big lion sent an urgent message to Lion Mom to hide in the room, or else they might scare Little Rabbit away. Lion Mom couldn't hold back any longer. Oh, I want to play with Little Rabbit too. She opened the door, ready to rush out, but Lion Dad hugged her. Honey, don't. I'll wear bunny ears for you, okay? So, poor Lion Dad donned long bunny ears on his head to entertain his wife. Lu Wei flirted with Sun Rong until he was blushing, and on the other side, the big lion was also so charmed by the cute little bunny that he almost had a nosebleed. Sun Rong was still in shock, realizing that his little goddess was actually Lu Wei, and he secretly kept a childhood photo of Lu Wei. He accidentally let Lu Wei see it. Hey, when did you take this? Sun Rong lay on the bed weakly, saying, what's the big deal? Anyway, I won't be able to see my little goddess again, so I can at least have a memento, right? Lu Wei was utterly speechless. Sun Rong suddenly turned around and said seriously, but you can't say I broke the promise. I've thought it through. I'm protecting you now, right? So I fulfilled the promise I made when I was a kid, haven't I? Lu Wei's heart pounded wildly from his words. Sun Rong suddenly had an epiphany and hummed a little tune as he walked to the bathroom. Lu Wei sighed. All right, at least this little fool is back to normal. But why does it feel a bit regretful? I should find an opportunity to enlighten him. Sun Rong was taking a shower in the bathroom. Lu Wei pushed the door open and came in, saying as usual, let's shower together. Sun Rong suddenly thought of Lu Wei's childhood appearance as a girl, and his face turned red. He chuckled and locked Lu Wei outside the door. You go out. Lu Wei was caught off guard and got a big bump from the door. However, he was not angry but happy instead. Oh, shy now, are you? Seems you're not completely clueless. Little Rabbit secretly snapped a photo of Big Lion's childhood. He couldn't help but praise, the young Mu Wei was really cute. When Mu Wei entered the dorm, Little Rabbit quickly hid her phone behind her. Big Lion felt the dorm was stuffy. Just went to adjust the air conditioning switch. Suddenly the room went pitch black. Could it be a trip circuit? Bai Li turned on his phone's screen for light. The moment he turned it on, he saw the photo of Big Lion he had just secretly taken, feeling very embarrassed. I'm sorry. Big Lion scratched his head, also feeling a bit embarrassed, but I'd like to see your childhood photos too. Little Rabbit opened her phone to search. My mom just posted one in her friend's circle a few days ago. For others, we'd have to go to my house. He showed the photo to Big Lion, who was touched deeply again. It's just too cute. He couldn't help but get a nosebleed again. The Big Lion not only rubbed the bunny's ears. He was so excited that he was about to pass out. Suddenly, the dormitory lost power, and the air conditioner stopped working. The room was stuffy and hot, so the little bunny decided to open the window for some fresh air. Unexpectedly, as soon as they pushed the window open, a cold wind mixed with snowflakes blew in with a roar, making them shiver. The little bunny quickly shut the window again. The biggest problem they faced now was that the electronic anti-static device was useless. In the dry winter, the fur on their bodies would definitely become dry and frizzy, and the static electricity would be severe. The Big Lion suggested asking the next room for a power bank. Just as they reached the neighboring dormitory, they heard Sun Rong shouting, Lu Wei, come at me. The two of them curiously peeked through the door to see what was going on inside. Inside, Lu Wei and Sun Rong were having a water fight. Just as Sun Rong was about to splash Lu Wei took out Sun Rong's game console to block in front of him. Sun Rong was shocked and quickly stopped. Lu Wei, what did you do? Lu Wei took the opportunity to splash water directly onto Sun Rong's face. Sun Rong shouted defiantly, you rascal. Lu Wei smirked evilly, ha ha ha, the battlefield is just that cruel. The Big Lion and the little bunny were embarrassed to disturb the two's fun. It seemed they couldn't borrow a power bank, so they returned home and had to resort to the most primitive methods to cool down and remove static electricity. The Big Lion used cool water to wipe the little bunny's ears, but at this moment, the Big Lion, the already excited person, was nearly fainting, shouting in his heart, a power outage is great, so wonderful. His gaze slowly shifted down, looking at the fluffy tail of the little rabbit, almost fainting, not expecting that he could not only openly help the little rabbit wipe its ears but also openly help it wipe its tail. He swallowed his saliva in excitement, with a nosebleed, encouraging himself, I can do this, hee hee. The little rabbit's tail feels so soft and comfortable to touch. The Big Lion's nose was bleeding profusely, almost losing his soul. The little rabbit drank water until its belly was bulging. It's really too cute. The Big Lion and the little rabbit cooled each other down. The little rabbit asked the Big Lion to help wipe its ears with cold water, which made the Big Lion so excited that his heart was pounding, almost jumping out of his throat. The little rabbit turned around and asked the Big Lion to help wipe its tail again. The big lion was flattered, swallowing his saliva. I can do this, hee hee. The moment his big hand grabbed the little rabbit's soft tail, he nearly lost his soul, and his nosebleed uncontrollably began to gush again. The little rabbit turned back and gave him a bright smile. Now it's my turn to help you. The big lion felt like he was floating on clouds, wagging his tail as he turned around, feeling all light and airy. The little rabbit wiped his back for him, feeling delightfully happy. That night, the little rabbit tossed and turned, unable to sleep. His stomach kept rumbling non-stop because the little rabbit had drunk too much water before bed, making his belly round and bloated, and he kept burping. He woke up 3 times that night, and the next day he felt almost faint from exhaustion. When he went to class, he met Lu Wei and Sun Rong. Sun Song widened his eyes and asked Lu Wei, "Why did you also buy the same clothes as me?" Lu Wei yawned and pretended not to hear. The little rabbit was extremely envious. They were actually wearing matching couple outfits. That night, the little rabbit took the big lion to the night market, saying there was a discount store there and he just wanted to change his coat. As soon as the little rabbit entered the store, he purposefully picked out a coat of the same type as the big lion's. He asked the clerk, "Hello, do you have this in my size?" Just then, the big lion chose a coat of the same type as the little rabbit's and asked the clerk if they had it in XXL size. The two of them looked at the clothes in each other's hands. The little rabbit kissed the big lion and they both admitted to each other that they were in a relationship. Seeing Lu Wei and Sun Rong in matching outfits, the little rabbit dragged the big lion to the clothing store that same night, and the big lion also picked out a coat the same as the little rabbit's. Looking at the coats in each other's hands, both of them blushed simultaneously. As they left the clothing store, the big lion immediately put on the new coat. At first glance, it looked like a couple's outfit. They walked forward together and saw a dessert shop ahead. The little rabbit suggested buying some sweets to celebrate. The big lion was puzzled about what they were celebrating. The little rabbit thought, celebrating that they were also wearing matching outfits. At the entrance of the dessert shop, there was a sign saying that any purchase by couples was half-priced. Both the big lion and the little rabbit were caught in an inner struggle, and they exchanged a shy glance. The little rabbit spoke first, "Well, the desserts here are really delicious." The big lion immediately chimed in, "Ahem, yes, and half price, what a rare opportunity." As soon as they finished speaking, they felt embarrassed again. If they wanted the half-price offer, they would have to be a couple. The shop assistant, seeing customers, greeted them with a smile, "Welcome, welcome. We are having a couple's discount promotion. May I ask, are you two a couple?" The little rabbit and the big lion dared not look each other in the eyes but nodded in agreement. At this moment, Peng Fei appeared outside the window. "Huh? It's big brother Mu Wei and Zi Li. This is called fate. Let's go say hello." As we happily entered the shop, we saw the small blackboard at the entrance. He was stunned. Could it be that big brother Mu Wei and the little rabbit are a couple? The shop assistant introduced to the big lion and the little rabbit, "We take commemorative photos for couples and display intimate photos on the photo wall. Could you two do an intimate couples pose?" The big lion was stunned. An intimate pose? Like hugging? It surely can't be a kiss, right? And would Bai Li agree? While the big lion was lost in his thoughts, the little rabbit had already stood on tiptoe and planted a kiss on the big lion's cheek. Not only did the big lion and the little rabbit kiss, but even the silly lynx and Peng Fei kissed. The first time the silly lynx met Peng Fei, he was attracted by Peng Fei's fierceness. He proactively went over to say hello. "You look skinny, but you're quite strong, huh? Want to be my little brother? I'll look after you. This is my first time taking in a little brother. Feel proud, little cat." Later, every time the silly lynx got into a fight, Peng Fei, the little brother, was always the first to rush in to stop him, for fear that the silly lynx would get disciplined by the school again. He felt annoyed, thinking to himself that he must be the only little brother who's like a busybody. That silly lynx got into a fight again. Luckily Peng Fei arrived just in time. Seeing Peng Fei looking all puffed up, the silly lynx pointed at the dessert shop ahead. "I'll treat you to dessert. Look, the shop is even having a promotion." Peng Fei followed the direction the silly lynx was pointing and saw it was the shop where brother Mu Wei and Bai Li were being affectionate. He immediately waved his hand. "The promotion requires couples, and we're not a couple." Who would think? But the silly lynx grabbed Peng Fei's wrist and rushed towards the shop. "You're so cute. We can just pretend to be a couple, they won't suspect." Upon hearing this, Peng Fei instantly shook off the silly lynx's hand. "I don't want to," leaving the silly lynx surprised and turning back. "It's nothing big. Brother Mu Wei and Xiao Zi Li also participated in this promotion. I even saw them kiss." The silly lynx grabbed his hand again and rushed inside. "Don't worry, I'm not that casual. Let's go." But unexpectedly, as soon as the silly lynx entered, he stopped Peng Fei by the shoulder and shouted, "We're a couple." The staff were all stunned. Peng Fei facepalmed. "How does this look like a couple? This straight guy still has to follow my lead. He then pulled the silly lynx's collar towards himself, drawing their distance closer and closer. With a click, the clerk captured a photo of the couple, handed it to them, and couldn't help admiring, "You two really are a perfect match." Peng Fei glanced at the photo, saw his fierce expression and the dumbfounded look on the face of the foolish lynx, and immediately got angry. "Is there something wrong with this camera? Was I really like that just now?" Thinking back to the tender and shy scene of the little mink kissing the big lion, he decided to ask the Miss Clerk to take another photo. This time, he tiptoed and embraced her. This time, he tiptoed up and hugged the silly lynx around the neck and kissed him. After the kiss, without waiting for the silly lynx to react, he hugged his arm to choose a cake. The silly lynx, blushing for the first time, stutteringly asked, You just now." Peng Fei was beating around the bush, completely ignoring the silly lynx's words. Just like that, on the photo wall of the dessert shop, the big lion and the little rabbit went to the hot springs. "This is too adorable." The big lion lifts his shirt to change, which completely dumbfounds the little rabbit. Their eyes meet, creating an unbearable atmosphere. The big lion quickly psyches himself up. "Can't back down. The two of us came out here just for this. Definitely can't back down." The little rabbit, embarrassed, bows his head thinking, "Oh no, am I blushing? Act natural, act natural." Just at that moment, the second brother rushes over and breaks the awkwardness. Eventually, they both turn their backs to change clothes. After changing clothes, Zili tries to lighten the mood, saying, "Just the two of us sneaking out feels so guilty. I wonder if Lu Wei and the others have noticed us slipping out to have fun." The big lion reassures, "It's okay, that guy has been only paying attention to Sun Rong lately. He definitely won't be minding us." The two pushed open the screen of the hot spring with curiosity and excitement, marveling at how beautiful it was. The little bunny dipped a foot in. It felt so comfortable that it decided to immerse its whole body in the hot spring. The big lion complained softly that requiring clothes in a hot spring was so unreasonable. The little bunny perked up its ears and asked what the big lion was mumbling about. The big lion laughed it off, saying it was nothing at all, but it couldn't help glancing in the little bunny's direction. The temptation of the little bunny made its nose bleed profusely again, and it shouted in its heart to remain composed. This was just the beginning, but the next second it saw the little bunny's round tail. Finally, it couldn't maintain composure and collapsed on the shore. Suddenly, the little bunny emerged from the water, brushing right against the big lion. The big lion's soul seemed to leave its body, but in the next second, the little bunny slipped and fell straight back. "Be careful." The big lion quickly reached out, catching it with a hand around the little bunny's waist. It lifted the little bunny up. The scene froze for a moment, neither of them knowing how to face each other. Finally, they sat shyly at opposite ends of the steps, but both agreed in their hearts that soaking in the hot spring was wonderful. The big lion and the little rabbit just finished soaking in the hot spring and went to shoot in costume. "This styling looks so good." The photo shoot location was full of couples, and the photographer kept shouting, "Kiss, kiss." The little rabbit was very embarrassed but still wanted to take pictures with Mu Wei. However, the two just sat there stiffly like two straight logs. The photographer couldn't stand it anymore and told them to be more intimate. This time, the big lion caught on quickly, pulling the little rabbit into his embrace. The photographer gave a thumbs up, and just like that, click click, a beautiful couple's photo was taken. The photographer then started calling for a change of pose. This time, the big lion lay on the little rabbit's lap. He appeared calm, but inside, he was overwhelmed, accidentally touching the little rabbit's belly, which was soft, and the thighs were soft too. The photographer, acting as a great helper, started shouting again, "Xiao Bai, you can relax and be a bit more intimate." The little rabbit shyly reached out, cupping the big lion's cheeks, and looked into his eyes. The photographer on site was thrilled. "Great, now let's have a kiss." Both the big lion and the little rabbit were stunned. We aren't a couple, so a kiss is a bit." The photographer was a bit disappointed, but he quickly understood, seeing how shy they were. He figured they probably haven't confessed yet. Got it. Let's set up a shower of peach blossoms to enhance their feelings." Petals fluttered in the air like butterfly wings, and the little rabbit was completely absorbed in it, while the big lion was mesmerized watching the smiling little rabbit. He gently reached out and flicked the little rabbit's ear, as a petal was stuck on it. The little rabbit delightedly said, "Haha, I wondered why it was tickling." Thanks to the photographer, click click, they took many sweet photos. The little rabbit couldn't stop grinning while holding those ancient costume photos. The big lion was reluctant to go back and said to the little rabbit, "I heard this house's private hot springs are different in every room, it's interesting." The little rabbit's eyes widened, "Then let's soak in the hot spring again." And so, the big lion coaxed the little rabbit into soaking in the hot spring again. The big lion took the little rabbit to soak in the hot spring again. The little rabbit suddenly emerged from the water, with a silhouette that was faintly visible. The big lion, blushing and unable to contain himself, slowly approached the little rabbit, who stared at him puzzledly. Embarrassed, he slowly submerged himself into the water, and the big lion also followed, sinking bit by bit. Unnoticed, they both started to laugh. Suddenly, the little rabbit's ears felt something icy. Startled, he flapped twice. It was snow. It had started to snow, and they were both pleasantly surprised. After soaking in the hot springs, the two started walking around the scenic area. As they walked, they accidentally bumped into a couple. The young boy then snuggled up to his boyfriend, saying, "I'm so tired, carry me, will you?" The big lion suddenly got an idea and said to the little rabbit, "The road is indeed tough. Let me carry you too." But upon hearing this, the little rabbit darted away in a flash. Turning into a gust of wind, the little rabbit ran far away, yet still turned around and teased, "What did you just say?" The big lion was dazzled by the little rabbit's turning smile. "Nothing, nothing at all." Eventually, the little rabbit got tired and sat down on a bench to rest, panting heavily. The big lion handed him a tissue to wipe his sweat, warning that the wind might make him catch a cold. "Thanks," the little rabbit quickly took it. "How about some sugar?" The big lion pulled out a piece of chocolate for the little rabbit, who smiled broadly. "Are you Doraemon? Having everything in your bag?" The big lion pats his chest. "Hee hee, anything you need, you can count on me. I have everything." Just then, a soft meowing sound is heard. A few kittens approach them obediently. "Wow, how cute." The little rabbit starts cuddling the kittens. The big lion is puzzled. Why are there so many cats in such cold weather? They must be from the nearby shops. They even have little bells. The little rabbit won't let go of the kittens and winks at the big lion. "Hee hee, are you jealous? Cats always like me." The big lion thinks to himself, "I'm a cat too.